mean, it was a crazy, crazy day yesterday as the fan bases in San Francisco and New York went buck wild when there was an erroneous report about the destination of Aaron Judge. Woo! Thank God I'm not a baseball. I love baseball. Hey, it's the Carton Show. We got Mark Schlereth here. Yeah. We got Cody Decker here. And we have great news because we learned it earlier today while you guys were all sleeping that Mark and I are now very close friends because we go sock, sock, shoe, shoe, and not sock, shoe, like most sociopaths do in Midwestern towns that wind up being on Dateline years later.
Wait. You go sock, shoe, sock, shoe?
No. Sock, shoe, shoe.
That's the only way to do it.
Yo, boy.
Is this a joke? Yes. Is there someone in this place that doesn't do that?
Yes.
What?
Ethan Kleinberg.
Oh!
He's upstairs. He's one of our producers.
Ethan!
He's a sock shoe guy, and I know it. Anyhow, let's get right into the show. It is time for headlines, and we'll get to the Aaron Judge thing in a second. But how about the good news for those of you that aren't in San Francisco? That my main man right there, Jimmy Garoppolo, heals like a superhero, does not have Liz Frank, and might be back 7 to 8 weeks, which means if San Francisco progresses, gets into the playoffs deeply, he, in theory, would be eligible to play. Of course, he wouldn't play because that would mean that Brock Purdy's doing a great job, and you're not going to replace him in the NFC Championship game, but still good news.
Yeah, it's great news. I did. Liz Frank, is that the person he was dating when he first got to San Francisco?
Yes.
He no longer has her.
And she is an adult entertainment star.
Great.
That is correct.
That is great news.
Oh, poor Jimmy.
That is great news that he's moved on from that. Let me. If he heals to the point where you can use him in the playoffs, doesn't it mean that you got to the playoffs with Brock Purdy and he's playing pretty well?
That's my point.
Like, he's your backup.
I mean, it's good news.
He started as a backup. He finishes as a backup, right?
It's probably good news for Jimmy Garoppolo moving forward that he's not out for 6 months or 8 months.
Right.
But you're right. If he's back, and they're saying the timetable is 7 to 8 weeks, do the math. It's NFC Championship game.
Right, with the weekend.
If they get there, newsflash, Brock Purdy's playing quarterback in the NFC Championship game.
Right.
Unless, of course, John Heyman reports it. And then who the hell knows who's going to be the quarterback, right?
Well, it'll be awesome. Arson Purdy.
Arson Purdy.
That's right. All right, headline number 2. This one kind of snuck in out of nowhere.
Okay.
And that's Lamar Jackson, who did get hurt. And Harbaugh came out right after the game and said, we're not looking at too much time. It's not season ending. We found out that it is a sprain of his PCL,
right,
which is somewhere on the knee, I think in front. Is that right?
There's the ACL and the PCL crisscross inside the knee.
Got
so the ACL is the one that most people tear and you have to have the surgery. PCL's in there as well. It's not as prominent.
And it's not torn, so you're looking at it could be 1 game, could be 2, maximum of 3, which is important because the Ravens can't win without Lamar Jackson, even though you love Huntley's mechanics in throwing the ball.
Only that.
The Cincinnati Bengals are now going to win the division, but I don't think it matters enough. I think the Ravens get in regardless.
Regardless?
Yes. I do.
Not if they've got a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter. They ain't getting in. I mean, they can't hold those things.
That's very true. That's very true. All right, so we're going to watch that, obviously, next couple weeks. Headline number 3. Well, we thought Baker Mayfield might, but we even told you yesterday he might not make it to San Francisco, and he didn't. Because the way they do waiver wires, it's like a draft, worst record on up. And how about the LA Rams say, you know what? Stafford's hurt. No guarantee where his career even goes. Why don't we take a flyer on a former number 1 and see, with really good coaching, if maybe we could turn him back into a legitimate NFL player?
Yeah, I think it's wise. I think it's wise. And how long is Stafford going to play? How long is he going to be around?
Stafford has like a neck deal, like a spine deal. Like he's not, and he has a wife who I adore, who's been very public in saying, I don't know how much longer I want him doing this. He had 4 beautiful kids.
Right.
And, he had a couple concussions now.
Right.
So this is real.
And we saw what happened to Brady when you don't listen to your wife.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
I mean, that's Stafford.
Yes.
I think
Some
Stafford,
people live happily ever after.
Right. I think Stafford's a listener.
Yes,
That's what I'm saying.
I do too.
I do
too, and that works for him. But very few men. So Baker Mayfield winds up in LA.
I think it's a smart move by the Rams. I really do. Like you got nothing to. I mean, you roll the dice. It's $1 million. You can find that in the couch cushions of Stan Kroenke in his office. You just turn it over. Bam, $1 million falls out. You hand it to Baker and say, "Come see what we can do."
Yeah, and listen, I think he's. I don't know how much longer McVay's going to be there. I could see him leaving for TV for a while and then ultimately going back, kind of like Sean Payton. And he's got the ring on his finger too. But it'd be interesting to see what Baker Mayfield does. Their season's over. They've only got 3 wins, but he's got a legitimate coach. If they can resurrect that kid's career, well, if you're a Rams fan moving forward, you might have a quarterback if Stafford's done playing.
Yeah.
So why the heck not?
I mean, it doesn't happen often, but it's happened. We've seen guys like Rich Gannon, who was like a journeyman, and all of a sudden he gets together with John Gruden in Oakland at the time, and he becomes a superstar, right?
Yep.
I mean, because of MVP of the league. So
coaching and situation sometimes changes careers for the better. It can also go the other way, obviously, because Todd Bowles has ruined a lot of careers, and he's trying to do it to Brady now. Headline number 4, and this one's coming from me, not even from the staff, and it's my main man, Odell Beckham. I only bring it up as a headline because Jerry Jones said what Plaxico Burress said on this show a couple months ago. If he can't play, we ain't signing him.
Right.
And the deal is the Dallas Cowboys made it clear, apparently, when Odell Beckham refused to work out for them, that they were going to sign him based on his availability over the last couple weeks of the regular season so that when they go into the playoffs, which they are a lot to do, he's up and running and a legitimate part of their offense. If he's not ready to go, according to the medical experts, until mid-January, well, then there's no rush to sign him right now.
Right. Well, why wouldn't he work out, though?
Because he knows the knee's not ready.
Because he got surgery.
Is it that, or is it that the Dallas Cowboys didn't do it properly with today's athlete?
Meaning what?
I mean, you can't work out in private. It's got to be on Instagram. So if they had an Instagram workout, then maybe they would have gotten him to move around.
And it's got to be sponsored.
Right.
And only the player gets to release it.
Right.
Yes.
And there has to be what they refer to in the business as PSB. And I apologize for the language, but I'll say it once and only one time. Poolside bitches. That's just that came from Zach, and I just report what he tells me to report because I'm a low maintenance host. And I'll give you one more headline, and this one set the social media world on fire yesterday. And that is the erroneous reporting from a clown reporter that Aaron Judge had agreed to a contract with the San Francisco Giants, 9 years, $360 million. The problem with that tweet right there is that he didn't.
Well.
And he also referred to Aaron Judge as Arson Judge. Let me watch. Oh, now he's Aaron Judge. Got it. So Arson Judge is going. No, he's not. Aaron Judge is going. Oopsie doopsie. No, he's not. Because the Giants are like, yeah, no, he's not coming here yet. And the Yankees said minutes after that, we just talked to him, and we still think we got a shot.
Yeah, also, there is an actual real problem with these, because if you take a look at the timestamp, and it solves and it explains everything.
Yeah.
He sent the first tweet at 4:20.
Okay, you think he was stoned?
I don't know, but the tweet is sent at 4:20. His name is not Arson
So
Judge.
the first thing Cody Decker says on the show is a bad 420 joke. All
It's
right?
a fact. It's not a joke.
By the
Look
way,
at the stamp. It says 4:20.
Don't make me start calling you Troy. You know how it ends. I will say this. Why did he say Arson Judge? I'm going to walk you through it very quickly. All these reporters now are trying to be first. It's more important to be first than to be accurate. So John Heyman gets a call that he trusts that tells him that it's a done deal. So he goes to his phone, probably his fat thumbs, and he types as fast as he can because he wants to be ahead of the other insiders. He mistakenly writes Arson instead of Aaron because he wants to be first. He recognizes the mistake, then he makes it Aaron because now he's out there, he's first. Unfortunately, being first is good when you're right. Now, even if he does sign with the Giants today, and a lot of people think he's leaning that way, that clown reporter can't take credit for it because he effed it up for everybody yesterday.
No, he can take credit for it. He still gets credit.
No.
Yes,
he not get credit.
Yes, he does.
You can't say it happened, then say, oops, my bad, it didn't happen, and then 24 hours later say, I told you it was happening.
No, yeah, you do. You give him the I told you so. Told you so. Where were you guys yesterday?
What if arson signs in San Francisco? Can you take credit for that?
Cody Decker.
What?
Meeting after the show. And we always like to end the first segment with a fun little video. We almost never do hockey highlights for good reason. No, just that nobody cares about hockey. And here's the deal. So there's a Kings game last night.
Okay.
There's a reporter interviewing a gal who just became like president of something. And the plight of indigenous people is very important to her.
Okay.
So you'll see right here the reporters asking her about that. Unfortunately, as the woman is now extolling the virtues of her life's work, something happens. Watch.
I would need to say congratulations because you were just named chancellor at the beginning of November. And I saw a quote you said, it's so important to be visible. How is your visibility just helping the university and others?
It's very important, visibility of Indigenous peoples, because it's a...
Just 1 second.
Mr. Robertson again, and it's 4-1.
And there's a fly ball to left field.
This is her moment to speak on behalf of her heritage,
yes,
right?
right.
That as an indigenous woman, that she's gotten to the level of chancellor for whatever group or school she's just been, appointed chancellor of, that this is a great victory for her people, right? Mm-hmm. And here's the fourth goal of the game. Yes, there's a deep fly ball to left.
Yeah,
Right.
Castellanos with a deep fly.
I just want to apologize to the entire community. There's a deep fly ball to left. Well, listen, we got lots cooking today. We got Mark, we got Cody. Happy to have you here as well. The big story right now in the NFL, not just in San Francisco, not just in a few other towns, is what we refer to as NFL side pieces. That's right, backup quarterbacks who now have a chance to win a Super Bowl. But which one's got the best chance? Find out right after this.
I've always wanted to do that.
Next round on me.
Oh, what a good time we will have. You can make it happen again.
Voltaren, the joy of movement.
Working out doesn't have to be this complicated. That's why I make walking my workout with Skechers' new Workout Walker. They're loaded with performance and comfort technology to add more spring to your step. Just put them on and walk. Try Skechers' new Workout Walker.
All the snow just melts away when I'm with you. Oh, baby, baby, will you please give me a clue? 'Cause today is the day I get to see.
This holiday, shop sparkling gift sets from Pandora Jewelry at a special price.
When the details take precedence, the rest falls perfectly into place. We strip away everything but the essential, and what we're left with are thoughtful bedrooms for modern living. Thuma.
This is a Floyd bed frame. Timeless design, enduring materials, simple to assemble, the Floyd bed frame is perfectly designed for how you live today and in the future. See our entire family of furniture at floydhome.com.
From tropical bites to cowboy delights, Nuts.com has over 1,400 delicious snacks to satisfy every craving. Enjoy every flavor of happy and get free shipping on your first order.
This is Fubo TV. It's a better way to watch live news, shows, and sports without cable. Watch multiple games at once with Multiview. Try free at FuboTV.com.
Thanks to Avalara, we can calculate sales tax on almost anything, anywhere automatically. Avalara.
What if tax rates change? Filing sales tax returns. Managing exemption certificates. Business license guidance. Does it connect with accounting? Item classification. Cross-border sales. What about...
Do you have those budget markups? Thank you.
It's nitty-gritty time for the Bucks.
These conference games have direct impact on seeding. Who gets the one bye, having to play a wild card game, hosting home field advantage through the playoffs.
This is the game circled on my calendar.
The NFL, Sunday on Fox, home of Super Bowl 57.
Over the years, you pay your insurance. But the minute you're in a car wreck, the insurance companies treat you like a crook.
Don't be bullied by the insurance companies. Get Lerner and Rowe.
Lerner and Rowe are the lawyers for you. Call 222-2222.
Need cleaning supplies? Menards carries top brands like Dawn, Tide, and Bounty. Right now, get a $10 rebate on qualifying purchases of $40 or more of these and other brand name products from Procter & Gamble. Give your bathroom an update with Pfister. Pfister creates thoughtfully designed faucets like this Henlo bathroom faucet. Its spot defense keeps it fingerprint and water spot free. Get yours today. Now on sale for $84.99. Plus, a Menards gift card is always a great gift idea.
This year, don't just celebrate Christmas. Make it a Lerner and Rowe Christmas. And a happy Hanukkah. Go to our Lerner and Rowe Facebook page. Tell us what you want, and you just may get it.
Lerner and Rowe are the lawyers for you. Call 222-2222.
Hi, welcome back to the Carton Show. Mark Schler with Cody Decker. We're going to get to side pieces in the NFL in just 1 second. But during the break, I couldn't get the image out of my mind of that little hockey clip we just played. Yeah. Can you just put it up there real quick again, guys? Put just like a still shot of it for 1 second. Look how much bigger the reporter is than the chancellor, right? Right. And I just wanted to apologize to Cody, because now I know how you feel when I'm standing next to you.
We're practically the same height. You're 6'1".
That's what short guys say.
Wow.
Practically the same height.
Within 6 inches, we're very close.
I've always said that.
And then what I didn't realize, that's the first period of an LA Kings game, and the goal that's scored makes it 4-1. And here, this poor gal who just got this great career, promotion.
Sure.
Right, is like so excited as she should be, and it's like, tell me about the plight of the indigenous people.
Right.
And she goes, thank you so much for asking. For us people.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second, sister. We have another meaningless goal in a meaningless hockey game. Play it on. You can play the audio one more time if you want. Because the reporter's like, she's being so disrespectful. She's not even looking at the woman while she's talking to her. She keeps looking at the action on the ice. And worst possible timing that the Kings score another goal. She almost.
I would love to say congratulations because you were just named chancellor at the beginning of November, and I saw a quote you said it's so important to be visible. How is your visibility just helping the university and others?
It's very important, visibility of Indigenous peoples, because it's a
just 1 second.
She puts her hand up too.
By the way, that woman, I like her last name is Sleestack. That woman was like, when she was bent over, she was a good 6 inches tall when she was bent over. And then she stood up.
Yeah.
Like her head came out of frame.
She almost went like this.
She's huge.
Sorry about that. You wipe that off. You know what it's like when like your mom is like, okay.
No, how was that again?
No. I'm not sure Uncle Barry on that one. I know where that finger's going. Anyhow, yeah, she's that. We did find out the reporter's 6 feet tall.
Oh, yeah, she is tall.
So she's not the average size gal.
No.
And there you have it.
Yeah,
there you have it.
She's about 7 inches taller than Cody, right?
Time now for NFL aside pieces.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let me start you off with the obvious one. People going crazy here. All right.
I love Heineken.
Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, of course, gets the start now for San Francisco. They did bring Josh Johnson to be his backup, but they obviously have seen a lot of him, not just in the game last Sunday when he came in to replace the injured Jimmy G. He must look good in practice, right?
He's got to. You have got to, number one, you've got to orchestrate in practice. You've got to work on your skill set. You've got to work on your feet, your timing. You've got to take the scout team, the look squad, and you've got to make that your own. You've got to try to eviscerate people. When you were doing radio in Denver, we had Anthony Miller in 1995, Pro Bowl wide receiver. They let him go the next year after a Pro Bowl because Rod Smith, Ring of Famer in Denver, tore our defense up in practice every day. And they just said to themselves, listen, man, this dude, we got to find a way to get him on the field. He is going to be a superstar based upon the way he practiced. And ultimately, they were right. I think they must have seen that's the number one defense in football.
Well, and that's the point. I forget who made it from San Francisco. It was one of the other players saying, listen, we see this guy going up against our number one defense, and he plays well. And obviously, historically, there is enough of a basis to think you can still win a Super Bowl, whether you go back to Nick Foles and the Eagles, whether you go to Jeff Hostetler and the Giants, which obviously goes back 30-plus years, whether it's Doug Williams and Jay Schrader. There are plenty of examples of backup quarterbacks who, when they got the opportunity, flourished. Now, who the heck knows if Purdy will, but I'll tell you what, kid threw more than 30 passes in his first ever NFL game and looked like he had a command, at least, of what the offense was supposed to be.
And I think that's one of the things you have to really look at, especially with Kyle Shanahan. He wants to, if he didn't have faith, you throw it 14 times. To give him the opportunity. They won a playoff game throwing it 8 times with Jimmy Garoppolo. So there's got to be some faith in there. And, man, they've got to believe a little bit of what he's been able to do throughout the course of the year. So,
he's one of those kids, I knew nothing about him other than he was the last pick in the draft, but you automatically root for a kid like that. But you want that kid to perform well, make a bunch of money, and have a legitimate NFL career.
And the guys on the team root for guys like that.
I'm sure they are.
Like, if you're a first rounder who is, just is not doing your job, or you're not producing, and you walk around like you're entitled, guys in the locker room hate that. I mean, we hate it. But if you're a guy that, Mr. Irrelevant, or you're an undrafted free agent, you get an opportunity, you ball out of control, man, everybody loves that. They love to see that story.
Yeah, let me go to the second guy. There's been a lot of conversation about this guy in this show because of some of your comments earlier in the week. Tyler Huntley's going to play at least for this week. It could be up to 3 weeks with Lamar Jackson. Here's what we know about Huntley. He has played before, obviously. Not that the win-loss record ain't great with him, but he has a lot of the similar characteristics as Lamar, meaning that he can get out of the pocket, he can run very well, and that's a dynamic that defenses do have to take into account.
Yeah, and it's also, you don't have to change your offense. So what you've been doing to this point, you can continue to do that. When Joe Flacco was the backup there, you had to have 2 separate offenses. Here's our Joe Flacco offense in case something happens, to our starting quarterback, and here's our regular offense. Now you can morph that right in. So you don't have to do different things in situations. Hey, 3rd down and 6, we can't do what we normally do. We've got to scrap pile that. We've got to go to this other offense. So to me, that's about all the 10 other guys that start on offense, or the 10 other guys that are playing with that quarterback. That helps the Baltimore Ravens.
All right, now the third guy, I don't think it's fair for us to label him a side piece anymore because he's kicked the wife to the curb and now he's engaged. But it is Taylor Heineke, who, of course, replaced Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is the side piece, really, in Washington right now. And of all the guys we're going to mention, I think he's the obvious guy that has the best chance for success because he's had a lot of success.
Right. And they absolutely, in Washington, absolutely love him.
Now, they have a bye this week. Out of the bye, they play the Giants again, who they tied last week. Next week's game, of course, is going to have, it's almost like a playoff game. Winner has a very good chance of getting in. Loser has a lot of work to do to navigate the wild card streak.
Yeah, well, Heineke, one is predictability. If we design a play and it's supposed to go to the number one guy, the number one guy in our progression, and that guy's open, he's throwing it to him. he's putting us in a situation where now all of a sudden we're 2nd down and 5, and we can stay on schedule. So that's really good. And then critical moments, and we saw it in overtime in the fourth. Or not in overtime, but on the fourth down play.
Yep.
We saw the critical moment plays that he makes that Carson Wentz, frankly, just couldn't make.
Carson Wentz would have thrown an interception there, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, but you look at statistically, and this is what's crazy about how you feel about players. Statistically, every category, Carson Wentz was better. Touchdown interception ratio, completion percentage. I mean, even had more rushing yards over the similar amount of games. The one difference. We win with Heineken, we lose with Wentz, right? I mean, which is a pretty big difference. I don't know if you know that.
There's a big thing, like the eye test tells you all you need to know. And when you see 52 other guys who rally around a dude and like a guy and talk about a guy in the manner Washington talks about him, it's very similar to our last side piece, which is Mike White. Same thing.
You get off the bench, right? Your defensive, you go through your adjustments, you get your water, you take a rest, you get up to go watch that kid play because he excites you. Right?
And you're rooting for him.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's going on in Washington right now.
Yep, same thing in New York. Our last side piece, as I said, is Mike White. He's now the starting quarterback, and even though they lost to Minnesota, you talk to any guy, you hear every soundbite from the New York Jet locker room. They love this guy, and there's a relatability with him, too. Now, that's just personality. Some guys, like you said a few minutes ago, have kind of that douchey personality. They don't get along with people. Mike White, Taylor Heineke, I imagine Brock Purdy, they have the personality of the underdog, and guys rally around that. I think Mike White's going to be fine. I can't guarantee the Jets go to the playoffs. They play the Bills this week in Orchard Park. Tough spot. Bills have revenge. Right now, the Jets, as you see there, have the last wild card spot, but it's going to be a dogfight the rest of the way, and you have to hope that Mike White is what all the players in that locker room think he is.
Yeah, and I believe that. The other thing is every time you hear a soundbite from any of those guys, the way they tread lightly when any question is asked about Zach Wilson shows you exactly how they have to think about it.
Yes.
Like with Mike White, you don't have to think about it. Man, love the guy, plays hard, fights hard, does this. You don't even. And they go, Zach Wilson, you go, okay, wait a minute.
Right.
All right. Zach is
and I'll tell you why.
really working hard.
And I said this his rookie season. A bunch of New York Jets went out to a hockey game. All right, together. A lot of guys do that.
Right.
Like I'm sure you guys went to Avalanche games as a group, right?
Sure.
And they went to a game, and the Jumbotron goes on them. A bunch of guys have beers. They all go to chug the beer. Zach Wilson doesn't drink. I respect the religious beliefs. But that's a disconnect in a high testosterone type A place, which is an NFL locker room. If you're the guy that's not out and about with the guys, bowling on Monday nights, clubbing on Tuesdays, drinking beers with the guys, it's hard to connect to guys. And I know that seems silly and it's kind of caveman-esque, but that's real.
But yeah, I didn't drink when I was a player. I never drank when I was a player, and I didn't go out, and I was always injured and stuff. But I had a connection with everybody in that locker room. So it's how you do it. It's how you do it on a consistent basis, and how relational are you in the locker room.
And your success was very important for the Inuit people. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, the Inuit people.
Okay, there's a goal that just got scored, so we'll have to catch up with Mark about the plight of the Eskimos in just a little bit. Sorry to have to interrupt you there.
Yeah, that's right. That's okay.
That's the way
Wait,
it goes.
let me talk about the indigenous people.
That's the way it goes. Hey, Jeff Saturday is under fire, right? Because he's a lousy head coach.
Hey, whoa, settle down.
Huh?
You don't know that.
Settle down what?
You don't know that he's a lousy head coach.
Yeah, I've watched. He's a lousy head coach. We never thought about benching Matt Ryan. Really? Matt Ryan was horrendous, and Jeff Saturday now, which is what he's done very well after making a terrible mistake, apologizes for it and acknowledges it after the fact. Listen to this.
Yeah. I'm not looking at I'm not looking at Matt any different than anybody else. But yeah, we're looking at all of it. We didn't play nearly well enough last night, especially at the end. And so yeah, we're looking at all, and let's see what we can do to get ourselves a chance to win these games.
Yeah. Or just recognize that you're better on TV than you are on the sideline. of an NFL game.
Well, no,
is that possible?
We're going into that.
Look at him sticking up for his guy. Watch this. Look at him sticking up for the lineman.
Wait a minute. Was it not like 21-19 going into the fourth quarter?
Yeah,
and then they gave up 33 points in the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at the point you're not going 23 or 21-19. You know what we need to do right here in this situation is bench our starting quarterback. We're only, we're right in this thing. Let's bench him and go. That's what you want. You want him to bench him when he's 21-19. Get out of here with that.
No, but how?
Way to go, Jeff. Way to go, Saturday.
How about when it's
keep hope alive? I could be the
35-19.
Broncos head coach in minutes.
I know you can.
Minutes.
See, I told you.
That's what it's all about.
And by the way, he ruined it for you. He ruined it for you. The Walton family called me yesterday.
Did they?
And they were like, you think Stink wants to be our new head coach?
Right.
Because Nathaniel Hackett might not be getting the job done. And I go, have you heard his comments on Huntley? All right, coming up, we had some only 3 NBA games last night, but one of them was the 20th return game for LeBron James in Cleveland, which means it's a non-story. And by the way, they lost. Oh, stop it. There was a much better game than that last night, though, and we'll walk you through it right after this on FS1.
But all you got was ham? And all you got was turkey?
With gravy.
That's an all-you-can-eat holiday buffet. A smorgasbord of all you want, all you need. Did I sit at the wrong table?
This holiday, shop sparkling gift sets from Pandora Jewelry at a special price.
If you thought one napkin for the Quarter Pounder with cheese was enough, it's not enough.
I believe in miracles. Where you from? You sexy thing, you.
When you get a chip in your windshield, trust SafeLight. This couple was headed to the farmer's market. When they got a chip, they drove to SafeLight for a same-day repair. And with their insurance, it was no cost to them. That's service the way you need it.
SafeLight Repair, SafeLight Replace.
You've been working from home, but your roommate just took up percussion as a hobby.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. An Indeed resume helps personalize your job search and even helps the right job find you.
Come on, oh beauty. Hey. Are you ready?
This baby's coming.
If you watch football on TV, you need Fubo TV. The most college football you can get without cable. Stream up to 4 games at once with Multiview. Try free at FuboTV.com.
This is a Floyd bed frame. This is also a Floyd bed frame. And here it is again. Timeless design, made from enduring materials that are simple to assemble, move, and it's
sturdy!
Adaptable to your needs. The Floyd bed frame is perfectly designed for how you live today and in the future. See our entire family of furniture at FloydHome.com.
Thanks to Avalara, we can calculate sales tax automatically. Avalara.
What if tax rates change? Filing sales tax returns. Business license guidance. Cross-border sales. Item classification. Does it connect with it?
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
The bedroom suite. With deliberate details and modern functionality. For the indoor enthusiast. Check in at Thuma.co.
The Never Forget Tribute Classic. Villanova.
What a champ!
Boston College.
Can you believe this?
Saturday at 5 Eastern on Fox.
So if you want to apologize to the Inuits, I will give you the platform to do that. We're back. Thank you and welcome to the Carton Show. We've got Mark Schlereth, we've got Cody Decker, and we've got some NBA action. At some point, can we all agree that every time LeBron James goes to Cleveland, it's not a story?
Aww.
It's the 20th time.
It's nice, though.
Not really.
Aww.
It's the 20th time he's gone back to play in Cleveland as a visitor. And last night, it was the Spider Mitchell show. It was not the LeBron James show. Matter of fact, here's the only highlight we have from the Lakers the entire night. It's the very first basket of the game. Give me a LeBron James dunk. Go. Woohoo!
In your face, Cleveland.
It's a sweet dunk, though.
It's a great dunk.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap.
Okay.
Now, Anthony Davis, who I think is the most overrated player in NBA history, has played his ass off the last couple weeks. He had flu-like symptoms, so he did not play in this game, and it hurt the Lakers, who have been hotter than a pistol. They lost, and Spider Mitchell was a rock star, 43 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals, and that's just some of his highlights there. But the real highlight of this game happened at halftime, when arguably the greatest individual athlete of all time, not just our generation, put his talents on display. The great Joey Chestnut was in Cleveland shoving pierogies down his gullet, taking on 3 other competitors combined. And when the clock sounded, the great Joey, that guy's just having dinner.
Right.
There's always, by the way, you ever watch like a competitive eating competition? There's always that one guy who's like, this is quite delicious.
Right.
I would take my time in eating said pierogi. Right?
So dainty.
So, Joey Chestnut had 47 pierogies. Those 3 guys only had 36.
Wow.
So Joey Chestnut gets the belt, and he maintains his position on this planet as the greatest competitive eater of all time.
You know what? If they replaced the dainty eating guy with Cody, they'd have crushed after the burrito eating yesterday.
We would have won.
Yes.
We would have won.
Yeah,
there's no doubt in my mind.
I went back and watched the video of that.
Yeah.
Had we given you a cup of water, you would have had a much better chance of breaking that record.
Thank you so much.
So I want to apologize. That's our fault.
Thank you.
Her burrito looked like just eggs. He had like really pasty beans in there.
Yeah, I had a lot of stuff taking place.
Pasty beans.
Yeah.
Way to break it down, Mark.
Yeah, you're welcome. I was right here.
Yeah.
I was right. I saw it.
We smelled it for a little while after, too.
Yeah.
But, Cody, you almost broke the record, except you didn't. All right. The best game of the night in the NBA was the Mavericks and the Nuggets. Dallas winds up winning the game 116-115. Luka had a triple-double. Let's start off with an amazing no-look assist from Luka. Start off the video with that, guys. And this is one of his double-digit assists on the night. No look. What's up? How you doing under the basket for an easy deuce, all right? But you know, Luka Doncic is not American, as you know.
Yes.
Meaning that wherever he grew up, Slovenia or something, probably played a lot of soccer, right? And I'm sure he's into the World Cup like a lot of people are. Well, he took his love of the World Cup to the NBA last night with a flop that would make LeBron James happy. Look at that. Bones Highland pulls the chair out, and Luka's like,
oh, no, it's a neck injury.
Yeah, it's not a neck injury, it's an ego injury. That's all that is. Like, nobody touched him. He just fell backwards.
If only, do they have the magic water in the NBA where they can squirt that on you and then you're healed? Yeah.
Yes, he
They do.
starts
Yeah.
sprinting
Yeah,
right away.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So Luka, of course, was fine. He did have a triple-double. But let's get down to the crux of the game, okay? Bruce Brown, 37 seconds left, is going to knock down a three to give Denver right there a 1-point lead.
Okay.
So it's 112-111. That's Bruce Brown's three, all right? Then Dorian Finney-Smith comes back for the Mavericks, makes a bucket, and gives Dallas a 2-point lead with the top of the key three right there, 114-112. All right, 2-point lead. Jokic goes to the line to shoot two. You make them both, it's a tie game. First free throw is, oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. You got to make your free throws. So he misses a free throw. It is now a 1-point game, all right? Hardaway comes back after being fouled, has a chance to guarantee the W, up a point, make your free throws, and the game's essentially a wrap. 4.2 seconds left. He misses the first, and he also misses the second, giving Murray a chance to make a bucket to win the game. 4 seconds left, half-court heave, no good, and the Mavericks hold on to beat the Nuggets. 116-115, great game of basketball.
Yeah, it really was a great game of basketball. And the Nuggets, I mean, those two guys, like superstars, right?
Yeah.
From other countries, and I love just how great of basketball, not the greatest athletes in the world, like
Great basketball players.
Great basketball, great awareness, great court vision, all that stuff. Both those guys are just
Now,
tremendous.
one of the great young players in the NBA is under fire right now, and it's Trae Young. So on Friday night, Trae Young missed the game for the Atlanta Hawks against the Denver Nuggets, and he wasn't anywhere to be found. Normally, if you miss a game, you're on the bench supporting your guys and you're wearing street clothes.
Sure.
So he wasn't there. And apparently, Nate McMillan, the Atlanta head coach, had a problem with it, as he should. He's the head coach. Your star player misses a game, he ought to be on the bench supporting the guys. So a young, intrepid reporter had the stones to ask Trae Young about it, and then ask him again about it, and then ask him again about it, and then ask him again about it. Watch this back and forth. It's amazing.
What's public was that you not at the game, so why weren't you there?
Man, it sounded you was at me, bro.
I'm curious. I mean, you're leader of this team.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for people who don't know the full situation to understand it. So, I mean, it's like I said, it's a private matter again, and it made public, which was unfortunate. And if it was stayed private, it probably wouldn't have been as big of a deal. But like I said, it's unfortunate. But my job and my goal is to win a championship, and that's all I focus on.
But you can see the perception, though, Trae. You are a leader of this team, and when you're not there to support your guys.
When you're an outside guy like you are, and you don't understand in a private matter, in a private situation, you should probably stay on the outside. And like I said, it's unfortunate that everybody has to understand and know a little bit of the details that went on inside. But, I mean, inside here, we're all good. And, I mean, if you got any more questions about that, then you can talk to somebody else about it. That's all I got to say about it.
Again, I respect what you're saying about the private of the locker room, the private of the practice court. We're not here. I guess it's just a public thing of you not going to support your teammates when you're healthy about not going on the bench. So where's the disconnect there?
If I was healthy, I would have been playing.
But, I mean, John was in a boot, and he was still at the game.
Yeah, but you don't know the full story. Again, no, I don't.
So that's just, there's more to it. If you being healthy, just, I mean,
The
a
reporter
private matter
doesn't
needs to
quit.
stay private.
Now, there's the one part of it is, I mean, come on, dude, stop pushing him. But the flip side is the reporter's doing a good job. He's not disrespectful. All he's asking Trae Young is, just tell us why you weren't on the bench.
Right.
Like, you don't have to reveal all the team's dirty secrets, but why did you make a decision not to be there? Even if you're in a fight with the coach, you got the other 11 guys who are counting on you to support them. I thought the reporter did a great job there.
Right, I did too. The reporter didn't make it public. You made it public by not showing up.
Right.
Right? So, I mean, it's a private situation. Guess what? If you show up on the bench and you're in street clothes, it remains a private situation. You not coming to the game made it a public situation. He didn't make it a public situation. You did with your decision.
I thought that reporter, and he's under some fire for pushing
And he shouldn't be.
and pressing. He shouldn't be, and I apologize for not knowing his name. I thought that guy did a classy job. He wasn't disrespectful.
No.
And he's asking a question, frankly, that every fan wants to know. what's going on? Because if we got a problem with you, we got a major problem because you're our best player. And by the way, to be fair to Trae Young, Trae Young wasn't out of line either.
No, he wasn't disrespectful.
He just didn't want to answer the question.
Right.
And he never called the guy name. He didn't storm out of there. He just made it clear, I ain't answering this question.
Right.
So I thought it was good on both sides, actually.
Are you surprised that the Hawks or even Trae Young didn't have something kind of prepared?
You know what? I'm not surprised with it anymore. I've said for many years, even when I was in Denver, that every team should employ like a media coach or have a PR person tell a guy before he meets the media, these are the questions you're most likely going to get.
Sure.
Do we need to go through them before you're in front of the camera or on a microphone? And amazingly, even with social media, very few teams do that.
I'm with 2 teams every week. I travel around and call games, and it's amazing. Just the level of professionalism and the level of coaching that some teams have for their players.
Right.
And the blatant disregard,
that other teams have.
Right.
They don't even consider what you might ask.
Right. And it blows me away. Guys come in that are completely prepared, and you're like, wow, what a great, because you're there, honestly, as an analyst, you're there to help get the word out, help promote that team. And there are some teams that just oblivious to what they're doing.
Well, we're going to keep an eye on it. Atlanta's at the Garden tonight, and the last time Trae Young played at Madison Square Garden, about a week and a half ago, sadly, he dropped the triple-double on the Knicks, and his father then asked for his game jersey because he did it at Madison Square Garden. Cody's on the net. What do you have for us today, Cody?
Well, first thing we have our...
You okay? You want to clear your throat at all?
Right. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe take a break? You got Troy come in and do your job if you want?
No, we're good.
Hey, Troy, you want to come in and introduce the videos or no?
Yeah, sure.
He said, yeah, sure.
You want to let Troy do it?
Come on in, Troy. Why not?
Hey, Troy's not old enough.
You brought it on yourself, Troy.
He's not old enough.
Don't do the Troy walk. Hustle up like...
Come on, Troy.
Buddy.
Got a commercial break soon.
Good. Let Cody go get a coffee or tea or
Here you go, Troy. We're going to start with this one. Go. What you got?
All right, we got Cody on the net. First up, we have a football receiver, and he strips this interception like it was part of the play.
Well, that's not...
We didn't get to see that, though, Troy.
We do now.
Yeah.
Troy, you better job.
All right.
Okay. Oh, I see what happened
Do you see
there.
it, Troy?
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Defensive player took the ball away from the wide receiver.
Yeah, he caught it, and then he took it away.
Troy, by the way, Troy dresses like the oldest 12-year-old I've ever seen in my entire life.
Well, there was a sale at a ground.
You look like if Tom Holland got sick.
All right. Give us another one there, Troy.
All right, next up, we have this guy, and he jumps from a sitting position.
Yeah,
I
it's really
guess.
good.
There you go.
Whoa, super athlete.
So just so I have this right, this video is some guy who jumps from a sitting position. That's what we have there.
Yeah.
Now, Troy, I was going to gussy it up with some actual verbiage, but yeah, go ahead and read it verbatim. Keep going.
All right, next up, the cheerleaders.
Hold on. I want to watch this guy sitting and then jumping because no one's ever jumped out of a chair before.
That's pretty cool, I think.
You like that video, Troy?
I like that one.
You like
Better
that
than the first one.
Yeah, 1 to 10, what do you give this one?
Like an 8.
And what do you give the first video?
Like a 5.
5. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, what else you got?
All right, last up, we have the cheerleaders. They save the day at a high school basketball game.
Yeah. We have.
It's stuck in the. See, it's stuck in the net.
Yeah, the net you see is stuck in the rim. None of the players can touch net or fix it.
And then
So they bring out the cheerleader squad.
Yeah.
Good job, Troy. Keep going. Tell us more about it.
What do the cheerleaders do, Troy?
They go up and they do their routine and they get the net out of the rim. Like in the tournament last year, that same thing happened.
When they
but it
used
was with the ball and they used the
broomstick and the
broom.
ball, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And what would you give that video, 1 to 10?
That's like a 7.
That's a 7.
The second one was the best.
So just out of curiosity, you came up with a segment and gave us 3 videos, and none of those videos are a 10.
Nah, it
You
wasn't
gave
a great
us a 5, a 7, and an 8.
It averages out to like a 7, though.
It averages out to a 7?
Around that.
Yeah, it's funny because I heard on TV yesterday, someone said a guy had 11 goals in 20 games, which is about a goal a game. So your math is about as good as that. Yeah. A 5, a 7, and an 8 is now an average of a 7.
Yeah.
All right, maybe go back to what you do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We're not even quite sure what that is.
I thought you did great, Troy.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's Mr. Personality right there. I can't wait for him to MC our next comedy show. That is going to be fantastic. That's the leader of men right there.
Yes, he is.
You want to send us a break?
Why not? I got to do something. All right, well, the best-looking guy in the NFL might be injured, but he might be back.
There's nothing wrong with me.
Well, Jimmy G might be back on the field with the 49ers this season. We're going to talk about it right here.
I feel great, actually.
Do you think you have what it takes to make like it never even happened happen? Like this? Like that? Woo! Then you belong at the #1 brand in property restoration. Join ServPro and experience great pay, career advancement from entry level to management, and even ownership. Here you go, boss. And access to the best training available. Oh, I'm sorry. Got what it takes? Visit servpro.com/careers and apply today.
This is a Floyd bed frame. This is also a Floyd bed frame. And here it is again. Timeless design, made from enduring materials that are simple to assemble, move, and it's
Sturdy!
adaptable to your needs. The Floyd bed frame is perfectly designed for how you live today and in the future. See our entire family of furniture at floydhome.com.
Buying or selling a home can be one of the most stressful moments of your life. But it doesn't have to be. HomeLight is here to change that. HomeLight combines the best technology and agents onto one modern real estate platform. Join the millions of people who have used HomeLight to make buying and selling simple. It takes 2 minutes, and best of all, it's free. Buying and selling has never been more simple. Start today at homelight.com.
Ever wonder why they call it the American dream and not the American goal or plan? Maybe it's because in dreams, you can do anything. In dreams, you can hold your entire world in the palm of your hand and turn time inside out again and again. And you can do it all with your eyes wide open.
Reading people is my job, and my read is they are good people caught up in a bad situation.
What are they afraid we'll find?
There's satisfaction in sacrifice, in spilling blood, sweat, and beers. Because giving it all for your team is worth every drop. Modelo, brewed for fans with the fighting spirit.
This holiday, shop sparkling gift sets from Pandora Jewelry at a special price.
Can you believe this? Doug Flutie and Frank Thomas. You guys look great. Once I turn 40.
Let me guess, less energy? Less drive?
Definitely.
It's not your fault. It happens to every man. Testosterone levels drop as you age.
Happened to you guys?
Yep.
So what did you do?
We got Nugenix Total T.
To get your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, text SURGE to 231231. This unique man-boosting formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help increase testosterone levels.
That does it. I gotta get Nugenix.
Just send a text for a complimentary bottle. And by the way, she'll like it too.
Get your complimentary bottle of Nugenix now. Text SURGE to 231231. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, with key ingredients to help you get back in shape fast. Absolutely free. That's SURGE to 231231.
Entertained. All right, welcome back. Coming up in a little bit, we'll have Green Bay Packer wide receiver Alan Lazard live on the show from Green Bay, so looking forward to that. But the big news in football although I don't think it's going to play itself out the way a lot of San Francisco 49er fans would like it to play out, is the update on Jimmy Garoppolo's alleged broken foot. It may not even be broken. He doesn't have Liz Frank injury, and they're saying that no surgery needed, but out 7 to 8 weeks. So, do the math. 7 to 8 weeks from now puts you into mid to late January. If San Francisco is still playing football in mid to late January, that means that Brock Purdy has gotten the job done and has led them to the NFC Championship game. Right. At that point, Garoppolo is not playing, right?
Yeah, well, here would be the good part. Remember, he came off the bench this year in Week 2 against Seattle after Trey Lance broke his ankle.
Right.
Okay, so he came off the bench. Remember, he hadn't played at all in the preseason. They didn't even give him a playbook during the preseason. He was working out on the side.
Yep.
So then he comes back and they agree to terms, and he starts playing. He had really taken no reps. He'd really done nothing. Comes into that game and plays exceptionally well because he had the shoulder injury and the shoulder surgery in the offseason.
It was the non-throwing shoulder, but still.
Right. Still, but my point being this is that you're not all of a sudden going to, if you get there, you're not going to replace the quarterback that got you there over the last 5 weeks of the season.
And not just that, you're not going to go to a guy who now hasn't played in 2 months in an NFC Championship game.
Exactly. But you know what he could be? He could be a legitimate backup for you. He could do the same role he had at the beginning of the season, and then if Purdy gets hurt or doesn't perform well, he can come in. He knows the offense like the back of his hand. So, but it's not like all of a sudden you're going to go, okay, you've been out for 2 months, but go, you're our starting quarterback now.
To
That's
me,
not happening.
I think it's a much bigger deal for wherever Jimmy Garoppolo goes after this year, right?
Sure.
Because either San Francisco gets knocked out before he's healthy, or like we just said, if they're still playing football, that means that Brock Purdy had 4 really good regular season games and 2 at least manageable playoff games to get them on the doorstep of another Super Bowl appearance.
Yeah.
And we learned it with Foles. We learned it with every backup that's taken a team to a Super Bowl. That's the guy that plays.
Right. It's all about how you're playing at the end of the season. Like what you did in the first 6 weeks of the season doesn't matter if you're not playing well at the end. If they're playing well at the end, Brock Purdy, that's going to be his job.
Yep. Listen, the other big NFC quarterback news is the fact that Baker Mayfield got picked up by a 3-win team. That 3-win team, of course, is the LA Rams. Now, they play Thursday night. They overnighted him, or I guess, sent on his
FedEx,
phone.
they put him in a FedEx little box.
Yeah, whatever they did.
Put him in there. And
they sent him the playbook. Yeah. So he's got the playbook. I imagine it's on a laptop or something, but whatever.
Yeah.
He's got the playbook. They play in 24 hours. Boy, I don't know if you could possibly have Baker Mayfield start for you, but Stafford is hurt, and now Baker Mayfield gets a chance with 4 games to go to try to resurrect his career. So why did the Rams sign him? Here's their offensive coordinator.
It's just kind of acquiring talent, to be honest. I mean, acquiring somebody to come in and evaluate him, but also our offense, continuing to evaluate the offense, the other players. It's more so about acquiring talent and just getting somebody in here, that we can continue to, develop some competitive nature within the room. And those guys are all great about it.
Yeah, listen, it's a genius move, and here's why. Matthew Stafford has serious health injuries, right? His neck, his back, concussions, etc. He's already won his Super Bowl. His career's on the back 9, obviously.
Right.
So if you go out there and just take a flyer on a guy that costs you very little money, $1.4 million for the final month plus of the season, if he stinks, you cut him. But if you think there's something there, if you see the glimmer in his eye, if you think you can coach him to get him back to a place that he was in a couple years ago in Cleveland when he took a talented Browns team for the first time in forever to a playoff, to a postseason, then the Rams may have found, no guarantee of course, their quarterback of the future. And don't have to now waste a draft pick on trying to develop another quarterback.
Yeah, I think the thing you said there that is the most cogent part of that argument that you had, and it was all cogent, but they don't have to waste a draft pick. You know why? They don't have any draft picks. They've given them all away, right? So what are you going to get with the 7th round pick or whatever?
You're not going to get a starting quarterback.
No.
Right.
So to me, you may get Mr. Irrelevant like they have in San Francisco, but to me, it's a brilliant move because you've given away all your draft picks over the last however many years to procure talent. So this is a guy that had talent. He was the #1 overall pick in 2018. He's flamed out in Cleveland. He flamed out in Carolina. You know, maybe you get him back on track, but you don't have any draft picks anyhow, so you might as well get talent where you can get
and
it.
And not just that, Baker Mayfield can't make any contract demands. Even if he plays his ass off over the last month of the season and you win a couple games, so what? Now you figure, hey, if we bring him into our system all summer long,
right,
and we really develop him, you get a starting quarterback literally on the cheap, and you give a kid a chance to resurrect his career. I think it is a brilliant move by the Rams, and there is no downside to it. Your season is a wrap. Your veteran quarterback is banged up. Your talent is getting older. If you can figure out whatever the problems are, whether they're mental, whether they're physical, mechanical, and you can rediscover what made this kid the #1 overall pick, you just found your quarterback possibly for the next 10 years, and it cost you ugats, which is Yiddish for nothing. Or Italian, either way.
It's something.
But it costs you ugats, which is nothing, right?
Oh, good.
Yeah, it doesn't sound right when you say it.
Ugats.
It still doesn't sound right.
Watches The Sopranos one time.
When you say it.
Right.
All right, quick soccer news. What? What do you want me to do first? Morocco. Oh, yeah. Why would I do Morocco?
It was sweet.
Because they won in what soccer fans call PKs.
Yes.
That's penalty kicks for those of us in America. Morocco beat Spain in penalty kicks, and something happened. Oh, he's doing the waddle! He's doing the waddle!
It's global!
What was crazy about this penalty kick that I saw is that Morocco saved the first 3 kicks by Spain. And normally, it's a lock that you score on a penalty kick and then do the waddle.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
It was awesome.
Whoop, whoop. Anyway, that was Morocco.
Yeah.
They're going to get their asses kicked by Portugal this weekend. That being said, Portugal played against, I believe, the Swiss.
Yes,
right? Do you know what country the Swiss are?
Switzerland. I don't know.
How did you get that?
I don't know how I got
Wrong.
that.
It's Sweden, actually.
Oh.
Anyhow, Portugal scored like 100 goals in this game. But the story is that they benched one of the greatest player on the planet, unless you think it's Messi, which I'd respect. The handsome Cristiano Ronaldo only got into the game with about 18 minutes left. And the kid that replaced him, who's only 21 years old, scored a hat trick in this game.
Right.
How about that?
Oh,
and that's huge news in obviously the world of soccer.
What do they say when keeping it real goes wrong? I mean, you messed with your coach, and your coach said, "Really, that's what you want to do? Okay, sit your butt on the bench."
And I don't know the coach's name, I apologize, but I give that coach credit. Fernando Santos, I'm being told. That's a coach who's got big knip-knops.
Oh, yeah, he got clackers.
Right?
Clackers, knip-knops, what else?
You ain't lying, because that'd be like, benching Michael Jordan. No joke. And then having Michael Jordan's unproven 21-year-old backup
hang a triple-double on somebody, right?
Yeah.
It's a lolly pit.
And the kid's name is Giancarlo Ramos, 21 years old. Goncalo, I don't know. It's Ramos. He had 3 goals yesterday. Portugal advances, and they have Morocco, right? Yeah, Morocco has no chance.
You know what he doesn't have, Ramos doesn't have?
Big knockers?
No, $300 million contract and beauty.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. That's very lots of beauty.
Yeah, lots of beauty.
Yes, if we could all live the life of Ronaldo. Woo!
That'd be nice.
Why did he get benched, by the way? There's 2 trains of thought. One train of thought is that when they took him out of a game earlier in the World Cup, he kind of pouted about it.
Right, he didn't like
and the
it.
coach was like, it's a team game, buddy. It ain't about you. And the other train of thought, and I don't know which one's accurate to be fair, is that he's about to sign like a $200 million contract to play for a Saudi Arabian club. And that ticked a lot of people in Portugal off. Not that he was playing club team there. He was playing in London for Man U. But I don't know which story's accurate. But he acted like a prima donna, and the coach said, we're going to teach you a lesson because it's about the flag on your jersey, not the name on the back, and you got to respect the coach for doing that.
I love it. I love the coach for doing that, and it really is. I mean, when you talk about team games and sacrifices that you make for each other, that's really what it's all about. And the guys that don't understand that, they should be kicked to the curb.
Yeah, it's why the New York Yankees don't put names on the back of their jerseys. It's about the logo in front, not the name on the back.
I agree with that, but is it also possible that he's aging out and his replacement did score 3 goals?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's 37 years old. Maybe that's old soccer parlance. I don't know, but I have no idea. Yeah,
I mean, you jog around and kick a ball. It
There's a
doesn't seem
guy
that hard.
upstairs who now thinks he's a soccer expert.
Yeah.
He's nonstop right now. It is like, I mean, Alex Buford knows one sport. It's apparently soccer.
Right.
There he is right there. Like, he's so happy right now. Woo!
He's worn a different Hawker jersey every day.
Giancarlo, Gianbolo, whatever. I don't know the kid's name, but I know he scored 3 goals.
Here's what always fascinates me about soccer guy is that they always talk about how difficult the sport is.
It ain't
right?
that difficult.
And they're always like, well, you guys, football players, 7 seconds, you're big, fat, you don't run. You guys don't. You trot. You trot for an hour and a half. You trot around, and every now and again, like 3 times a game, you sprint. Like, but the rest of the time, you're just trotting around. You're trotting around.
All right, listen. We have some Odell Beckham news coming up, and we're about 25 minutes away from talking live, one-on-one with Alan Lazard of the Green Bay Packers. We'll find out the real skinny on Aaron Rodgers coming up in just a bit, right here on FS1.
At Honda, we know you have to drive through the mud if you want to reach the rainbow. Brave the desert before you find the oasis. Conquer the mountain to see how far your dreams can take you. The all-new CR-V and CR-V Hybrid, part of the Honda line of rugged vehicles.
From Santa Claus, Indiana, to Snowflake, Arizona, and everywhere in between, we're holiday ready with fast and reliable delivery, serving every address in America. The United States Postal Service.
Oh, what a good time we will have. You can make it happen,
Voltaren, the joy of movement.
An experienced QPC eater knows you should never let the ketchup that falls from the hot and juicy burger go to waste.
The holidays were awkward for Romeo and Juliet. Thankfully, Amazon had just the gift to bring the families together. Shop legendary deals.
I believe in miracles. Where you from? You sexy thing, you.
Do you think you have what it takes to make like it never even happened happen? Like this? Like that? Woo! Then you belong at the #1 brand in property restoration. Join ServPro and experience great pay, career advancement from entry level to management and even ownership. Here you go, boss. And access to the best training available. Oh, I'm sorry. Got what it takes? Visit servpro.com/careers and apply today.
The first time you made a sale online was also the first time you heard of a town named
Dinosaur. We just got an order from Dinosaur, Colorado.
Start an easy-to-build, powerful website for free with a partner that always puts you first. GoDaddy, tools and support for every small business first.
This is a Floyd bed frame. This is also a Floyd bed frame. And here it is again. Timeless design, made from enduring materials that are simple to assemble, move, and it's
sturdy!
Adaptable to your needs. The Floyd bed frame is perfectly designed for how you live today and in the future. See our entire family of furniture at floydhome.com.
It's Skip Drip Bayless.
I am a living legend.
He came to play Shannon Shay Show.
Get off my property.
Always right, never wrong, undisputed.
People who come to cricket stay with cricket.
With my cricket plan, everything is consistent. It's always going to be the same price. No worries.
Cricket is easy, it's affordable, customer service is top-notch. That's why I've been with them for so long.
I got my phone from Cricket and it's amazing. As a journalist, I use it for basically everything.
Great phones, great deals. Now that's a story. Smile. You're on Cricket.
Hey, my name is Chandler, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Peppermint Chip Milkshake is the little pieces of the peppermint that you get. It tastes like it's just the top of the line peppermint. For me, no milkshake is topping the Peppermint Chip Milkshake.
Hi, my name is Madison, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Peppermint Chip Milkshake is how it just makes me feel like a kid again. I love the cherry on top and the sweet peppermint bark flavor. It's definitely on my list of things that bring me joy around the holidays.
Hey, try the all-new Subway Series menu, your pick of 12 irresistible subs. All right. Cody likes the tuna. Go figure. Okay. And you see Odell Beckham right there. And why are we showing you video of Odell Beckham Jr.? Well, Odell Beckham is still not signed with the Dallas Cowboys.
Can't believe it.
And there might be a good reason for that. Jerry Jones, what is that reason, sir?
Well, I'm not confident at all. And so that's the issue. Now, we all realize that that issue of health, that issue of availability is here every time. Just this one is very obvious and very pointed toward his injury that had occurred last year in the Super Bowl. So we've got a good beat on that. We've got a great read on his career. It's not like a draft pick coming at you. You've got a lot of history here, and you take a good look at everything, not only the obvious, and that's his performance, but also any issues regarding health. So all of this, we've got to come in with our eyes wide open, and it has to be addressed, and that's when you see if you can make a deal or not.
Yeah, it's not even so much about making a deal. It's about if you sign him, is there any expectation that he's going to play for you this year? Now, I'm going to revert back to about 2 months ago on this very show. Former all-world wide receiver Plaxico Burress sat right where Mark Schlereth is sitting, and I asked him about whether or not he thought Odell Beckham would play a regular season game this year, and here's what Plaxico said.
Like I've been saying, Odell Beckham Jr. is not playing football this year.
You are been very consistent about that.
He tore ACL in February. It's 10 to 12 months. He won't play this year, but he will be ready to go in mini camp and training camp for next year.
So that's really the question for you, Mark. Sure. Let's even say that he's ahead of schedule on the knee, but he still isn't going to be available to play for the Dallas Cowboys until round 1 of the NFC playoffs, or even the second round of the playoffs, because there's only one bye this year, and the Cowboys aren't going to get it. It's either going to be the Eagles or the Minnesota Vikings. Would you take a flyer on him, sign him for, let's say, a 2-year deal, so he's yours next year also, with the hope that he shows up in the playoffs and you've never seen him before?
Listen, I would take a flyer on him just based on next year.
Okay.
So I would do that, but my hope or my belief that he's going to come in and be, contribute and be a part of our football team, that would be secondary. If it happens, great, that's awesome. But the bottom line is he going to give you, let's say in a wild card game or a divisional game, it is the 12 plays that he is going to give you where he's still working through the offense, still learning the offense, and also still dealing with the mental, how hard it is mentally to come back from an injury.
Yep.
Are those 8 to 12 plays better than the 8 to 12 plays that you're going to get from a guy who's been there all year and really understands the nuance of the offense?
We're just guessing.
The answer is, my answer would be no, he's not. I don't think.
I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you to guess the answer, because I don't think you know the answer. I don't put you in a bad spot.
Yeah,
okay?
no.
Do you think that Odell's misrepresented to teams his ability to play right away? He refused to work out for the Dallas Cowboys. He didn't work out for the New York Giants, although he did do a physical, I guess, to show the structural repair of the knee. Maybe he's telling teams, I'll be good to go, but he's not good to go.
Well, sure, he could be, but I think you're telling teams all they need to know by saying, I'm not going to work out for you.
Right.
Right. I mean, I understand what you've done. This is not about what you've done. What you've done has been significant. You've been a great player when you were healthy enough to play. So that's not in question. What can you do going forward?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody can answer that.
Well, but you're certainly not going to answer it if you're not going to go out there and run around and cut and stuff. It's not your ability to run fast. Okay, that's not how you get open in this league. Your ability to run fast has nothing to do with it. There's a million guys that can run fast. You know what it is? It's your ability to stop fast.
Right.
Your ability to stop, get in and out of breaks, to be able to cut, to do those things, that's what sets you apart as a wide receiver. And I guarantee you this, when you're coming off a knee injury, straight ahead's okay. Sitting down, stopping, getting off that leg, that's different. And that's probably the issue right now. So, again, I just don't think he's ready to play. I don't think he's misrepresented himself. He just won't work out.
Excuse me. It seems like Odell has enjoyed being wined and dined by teams and meeting with teams. He met with the Bills also kind of secretly last week, but nobody knows when he's going to be ready to play.
Yeah. How fat would I be if I did that tour?
If you did that
I mean,
tour?
I'm already fat, but if I was just on the Odell Beckham Jr. tour right now, getting wined and dined and going to games.
Yeah,
and
but to be fair, like, people see you and they don't really know you, right? You have become, to be fair, a bit bougie in your older age, right?
Have I now?
Yes.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
Here's a guy that grew up under the 23-hour sun in Alaska, outside fishing, hunting, building, digging, right?
Right.
Do you eat meat? What
Yeah, sure. I eat meat. Yeah, sure.
Let me put some chapstick on my lips while I ask a manly question. My lips are a little chapped.
Do you eat red meat?
Sure. I do. I do too.
No, you
I just don't eat a lot of red meat. Every now and again, I'll have a little red meat.
Listen,
white meat. Pink meat.
It is okay to enjoy the successes of your life.
Yeah.
But you're a different guy than you were 20 years ago.
You know what? Having a heart surgery in the offseason will do that to you.
Okay.
Sorry. You bully.
Sorry.
Wow. I had heart surgery.
I'm texting my cardiologist right now, and I'm going to tell him that you're bullying.
I need a new appointment.
Woe is me. They had to shock my heart back into rhythm.
No. I did have that done too. On top of that, on top of the other things.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've got a baboon's heart inside my body. Ooh.
What? I don't think that's a surgery, Craig.
I went to a baboon heart now.
I don't know. Who knows? I know that a guy that had the same heart procedure is playing football every Sunday, and you're not. Listen, right? Didn't J.J. Watt have a similar procedure that you had?
Yeah, well, he had,
right?
No,
the electric.
No,
when they
the shock thing, but
they shock you,
it did more than that. I actually had surgery. That's just a.
Well, then I apologize.
Right,
for
I actually had a surgery. I had an actual surgery.
We'll get you a salad.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, just put some meat on it.
From Odell Beckham and the bougie Mark Schlereth to Aaron Judge, Cody Decker. And Aaron Judge yesterday, it was misreported that he'd agreed to a deal to go to San Francisco. Carlos Baerga, the former Met and Indian, now Guardians, of course. You don't have to put that up right now for a second, guys. He's the guy that has now broken a bunch of big stories, and nobody gives him credit for it because he's not a quote-unquote reporter. He came out yesterday and said he's talked to people that say San Francisco is not only signing Aaron Judge, they're also going to add Carlos Correa. That's what Carlos Baerga said yesterday, while a guy who does get paid to report baseball completely foobarred the Aaron Judge situation.
It's pretty interesting because Baerga was so dead on about Verlander down to like the penny that he was getting for the Mets.
That's right.
And the San Francisco Giants, keep in mind, they're a team that won 108 games 1 year ago. You add a Judge and a Carlos Correa, the Dodgers are no longer the dominant team in the National League.
And that's the big rivalry, Giants and Dodgers out in California. So here's what happened yesterday. There was mass hysteria because a well-respected baseball reporter for the last 20 years, a guy named John Heyman, put out a tweet that said Arson Judge had agreed to a deal with San Francisco. There's the tweet. And that happened just after 4 o'clock. Then he realized that his fat thumbs misspelled the word out.
I think he went voice to text. That's what I think happened.
How would Aaron become arson and voice to text?
You should see my voice to text. When I say, hey, somebody got 6 sacks, it always comes out he had 6 times. Like I'm like,
awesome.
wait a minute, yeah. It's
That's way better than 6 sacks.
Yeah.
I'd like
he had
to meet the guy
six
that
times.
can do that.
Yeah.
Wow.
If he was using my voice to text, that's exactly how it would come out.
Put that guy on a card.
Okay. Anyway, he then corrected the typo and got it right and went from Arson Judge to Aaron Judge because, of course, all these guys, it's not important about being accurate anymore. Yeah, all that counts is I want to be first. I want to be first. I want to be first. All right, great. You're first. But when you're first and you're wrong, it's a problem because you lose credibility in that world. So everyone's going crazy after 4 o'clock yesterday. Oh, my God. Aaron Judge, 9 years, $360 million. The New York Yankees lost their best player. But then a little something happened after those two tweets. San Francisco called the reporter up and said, we haven't heard from Aaron Judge yet. He's agreed to the deal. The Yankees then called him up and said, we just talked to Aaron Judge, and he said he's still trying to figure out what he wants to do. So then he had to apologize for being premature. Well, we've all been there. But in doing so, he deleted the erroneous tweets as if they never happened.
Can't do that.
And now here we sit, 8:20 in the morning, Eastern time, and Aaron Judge has not agreed to a contract with the Yankees or the San Francisco Giants.
But, I mean, you already said he can't take credit for it going forward. And
you can't because you got it wrong.
You're right. But I'm starting to come to your side, Craig. I thought for sure the Yankees would not let Aaron Judge go over to the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah.
You've been saying it all along. I think you're right. I think he's going to be a Giant.
I think one other thing could happen, and that is, the Dodgers have lost a couple guys. Trey Turner, Cody Bellinger, right?
Yep.
Would the Dodgers now pivot and say, hey, if he hasn't signed yet, we're going to take a quick crack at him?
They would do it just to keep him out of the Giants' hands. They really would.
And then from a Yankee perspective, if the Yankees thought that he was really going to San Francisco, they may have gotten like an 11th hour opportunity to make him a better offer. So I think the way this all played out yesterday does two things for Aaron Judge. It potentially gives him more money and might bring a third suitor into the negotiations who might want to shock or surprise everybody. And I'm just going to throw a team out there. You know better than me. The San Diego Padres spend money like you and I, I don't know, spend nickels, right?
Yes.
Is there any shot the Padres would sneak in on this?
I would be surprised if they did because they're looking for a shortstop, so I think they're going to go after Xander Bogaerts from Boston. But it wouldn't shock me. A.J. Preller, their general manager, is a lunatic. He will spend money.
We have a breaking report right now, and we are trying to confirm it, but I'll give it to you because I'm going to put a name with it. There's a reporter named J.P. Morosi.
I know him.
I don't know him. Okay, he works for Major League Baseball Network, so credibility. He has just reported, are you ready, that Aaron Judge is in agreement to play baseball with the New York Yankees.
No way!
He is the only guy reporting it right now. The guys are telling me in my ear that J.P. Morosi with MLB Network is reporting. So if you'll excuse me for a second, I'm going to check my phone because I've some friends at MLB Network who might give me the information, and shockingly, they haven't.
So my dream of Aaron Judge signing with the Colorado Rockies, and then then them paying his salary and giving him to the St. Louis Cardinals is over. That dream is over.
They've already done that once.
Yeah, I know. If they've done it with Nolan Arenado, they could do it with Judge.
They probably could, but they won't.
So I'm looking right now. It's John Morosi. Is that his actual name?
Yes, John Morosi.
Okay, John Paul Morosi, 2 minutes ago,
I see it right
just reported that Aaron Judge is in agreement with the New York Yankees.
Yes. You know why? Because they signed Cashman first.
That's
and
right.
And then they got this deal done. Just like I said.
There you go. So just real quick, baseball, Cody, help me out here. So if you're the San Francisco Giants and you thought you had a deal done for the best player in baseball last year, not named Shohei Ohtani, how do they pivot?
They pivot to Carlos Correa immediately, and they're going to talk to Brandon Crawford about potentially moving to second base or possibly third base.
Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt. We're getting terms now. Ken Rosenthal has also now confirmed it is a done deal. The New York Yankees have signed Aaron Judge to a 9-year deal for $360 million. $40 million per year. Aaron Judge will spend his entire career as a New York Yankee. And for everybody yesterday, in New York at least, or Yankee fans worldwide that were throwing things out the wall and all ticked off at Hal Steinbrenner and Brian Cashman because the report came out that the Giants got the deal done, the New York Yankees keep their man for $360 million.
Oh,
how about that?
That is.
How about that turn of events?
That's
right?
a lot.
That's great.
That is great if you're a Yankee fan, not if you're a Giant fan. Good if you're a Dodger fan.
Yes.
And the baseball world got turned upside down on its head yesterday, and now everything has been righted.
Yeah.
The New York Yankees will never be outspent by a team on the West Coast for a player that they covet, because it's a Yankees world, and we're all just living in it.
You know the Giants have won 3 World Series since the Yankees have been to one?
Irrelevant.
Okay.
The goal isn't to win World Series. Oh, yes, it is. Cross that out right there. We'll have a meeting about that after the show. All right, so there you go.
Yeah.
Breaking sports news, confirmed now by multiple sources. The New York Yankees got their guy. We got our guy. Stud wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers, Alan Lazard, live from Green Bay, right after this on FS1. Yankee.
I've always wanted to do that.
Next round on me.
Oh, what a good time we will have. You can make it happen again.
Voltaren, the joy of movement.
It's easy to think that all money managers are pretty much the same. But at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different how? You sell high commission investment products, right?
Nope. Fisher avoids them.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Never at Fisher.
Okay, then you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we structure our fees so we do better when our clients do better. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Dude, you coming? Alka-Seltzer Plus Power Max gels with more concentrated power. Because the only thing dripping should be your style. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. With Alka-Seltzer Plus. Also tried for fast sinus and pain relief.
This is a Floyd bed frame. This is also a Floyd bed frame. And here it is again. Timeless design, made from enduring materials that are simple to assemble, move, and it's
sturdy!
Adaptable to your needs. The Floyd bed frame is perfectly designed for how you live today and in the future. See our entire family of furniture at floydhome.com.
Hi, I'm Jeff from Nuts.com. When my grandfather started this business, he relied on freshness, quality, variety, and service. We still deliver the freshest nuts, dried fruits, snacks, and sweets to families all around the country. From Nuts.com. Enjoy free shipping on your first order.
I'd love to have one of my own someday.
Thanks.
Oh, I was talking about your USAA bumper sticker.
My dad served. Passed membership down to me. I'll pass it to her.
That's a lucky kid.
USAA. It's for the military community.
Thanks to Avalara, we can calculate sales tax on almost anything, anywhere automatically. Avalara.
What if tax rates change? Filing sales tax returns. Managing exemption certificates. Business license guidance? Does it connect with accounting? Item classification? Cross-border sales? What about...
Do you have those budget markups? Thank you.
We've been friends for so long, and I guess what I'm trying to say is I love... You didn't use Credible.com for your personal loan, and now you're getting nonstop spam calls.
Yeah.
It's either credible or it's not.
Credible.com.
The World Cup is here, and you have a chance to win up to $25,000 playing Fox Super 6 all tournament long. Simply download the free Fox Super 6 app on your phone now and make your 6 predictions for a chance to win big.
Yes, I shop at the Dump. It's an outlet. Do you know what that means? It's a legit furniture outlet. So when a big name places an order, they then decide to change the fabric, a button, the tags, or a stitch. They have to dump their stuff. It's all brand name, brand new designer finds at 1/3 of the price. Go shopping, research online, knock yourself out. If you're smart, you'll end up here. To the dump, to the dump, to the dump, dump, dump.
Cracks in brick, cracks in block, call Permaseal. Leaning or bowing basement walls? Call Permaseal. Sticking windows or doors? Call Permaseal. Settling or sinking foundation? That's right, call Permaseal. It's a fact, foundation problems don't get better with time, but they do get better when you call Permaseal Basement Systems. Call Permaseal today.
All right, so exciting baseball news, but the World Cup continues also. And that, of course, is exclusively on Fox. It's the quarterfinals of the FIFA World Cup. It starts on Friday. Blockbuster matchups. First, Croatia. That's Cody's pick to win it all. Takes on Neymar and the unstoppable offense of Brazil. And then Mark's pick, the Netherlands.
Yes. Yeah.
They're going up against Lionel Messi and Argentina. Coverage begins at 9 a.m. Eastern on Fox. And, of course, always on the Fox Sports app. When and if we get Alan Lazard, we'll obviously go to him and talk to him about the Green Bay Packers. But if you are just tuning in, welcome to the Carton Show. Breaking sports news that'll now dominate the landscape in every market across the country. And that is that Aaron Judge has made a decision to stay put. He is staying with the New York Yankees. It is a record contract. The Yankees have never signed a position player to this type of deal. 9 years, $360 million. Now, they still have holes, but what does this mean to the landscape of the American League East?
One, they still have the most dangerous offense in the AL East. I mean, you can look throughout the league. You can see Toronto being a powerhouse. You can see even like the Boston Red Sox making some signs. But quite frankly, the Yankees needed Aaron Judge back. Period. Stop. They couldn't do anything else until they got this done. And if they didn't, they would have finished third in the division next year.
Yeah, the part of this that I'm really interested in, and I guess we'll find out in the days ahead when Aaron Judge has the press conference, is was the deal to San Francisco a done deal? And then when it got misreported and he hadn't signed it yet, did the Yankees get back on the phone and raise the offer to match the Giants' offer?
Makes sense to me.
Could you imagine if a bad reporter, an incompetent reporter, a clown reporter, actually played a role in the New York Yankees salvaging their best player?
Well,
that would be crazy.
That would be unbelievable, unprecedented. No, listen, don't you just think that the Yankees had him in mind? Like, hey, go get your best deal. You're here. You're a Yankee.
So
you think?
No, only because the reports yesterday, now to be fair, I don't know what to believe anymore.
Right.
Were that the San Francisco Giants were at 360 and the Yankees weren't. That they never got up to $40 million per year for all 9 years. That was the report. That they got to maybe 350, but the Giants had made the best offer. Which is why I'm just asking the question, did the report coming out prematurely make the Yankees say, you know what, screw it, we'll give you the 360.
Right. But here's one, and I've been here and I've had different guys do this. You hear it all the time. Free agency. Go find your best deal, we'll match it.
Sure.
That happens all the time. So I don't know what the scenario was with the Yankees. If they're like, hey, here's our offer, but if you get a better deal, make sure you come back to us because we're not going to lose you. We're just not going to lose you.
Yeah, the problem with that is take Jacob deGrom, for example. Now, his deal's different in that the Yankees were never going to offer him 5 years with an option. Their best offer was 3 years, $40 million per. He never went back and gave them a chance. So there's also such a thing in sports. I don't know if you've ever experienced this in your career or yours, something that they refer to as the hotel offer. And what that means is you get a guy in a hotel room and you make him an offer. and it's a crazy offer, and you say to the guy, if you leave the room without signing it, the offer no longer exists.
Right.
Because you're making such a huge offer. Well, I'll give Aaron Judge credit. If he promised the Yankees, and they didn't say that he did. Matter of fact, they came out yesterday and said, we do not have an agreement with Aaron Judge where he's going to come back and give us the last opportunity to match or beat a deal. But clearly he did.
Yeah.
Well, you actually asked a very interesting question. Did the report actually lead to the Yankees making the deal?
I mean, there's a chance it did.
It's happened in baseball, and I'll give you an example. When Manny Machado was a free agent, he signed with the San Diego Padres.
Right.
The reason the Padres signed him to that $300 million deal, they weren't even talking to Manny Machado at one point until they started seeing the numbers that were Manny Machado's name was attached to. They got together and said, we can actually do this, and they made the offer and they got Manny Machado, and now they're spending $300 million per guy they sign at this point.
Right.
So there's a good chance that report yesterday made the Yankees go, we can make 360 happen. Done.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out because that story will be told at some point. And then John Heyman goes from a clown to a Yankee savior. Like, the Yankees would have to hire the guy if he gets fired.
He's in the PR department after this, right?
Meanwhile, Aaron Judge, I was looking this up on Google. Aaron Judge was the 4th most Googled athlete of the year.
Not surprising.
And that's coming off one of the greatest years any ball player's ever had.
The guy is unbelievable. And keep in mind, it's not just what he does on the field. I mean, the Yankee players, the fans, they all know that he's the captain of this team. This team cannot win without him at the moment. And now they got to go out and get some pitching. And if hopefully they have some money left around because, well, they
got plenty of money. The Yankees are worth $7 billion.
They're fine.
So if they want to write a check, they can still write a check. Like, this doesn't preclude them from going out and getting other pieces.
If you're in this market, though, and I understand taxes and everything here in New York are high, but if you're in this market, how much more value do you have if you're Aaron Judge being a Yankee than you would going across the country to the West Coast, to San Francisco, to a market that obviously knows you, but it's not New York, right? How much more value does that have?
I don't know that I can put a number on it, but it's significant because we're also the media capital of the world. Think about how many people you guys watch on TV and know because they played in New York. Now, obviously, there are other guys, you're one of them, who had great careers, who are personable, who can get on TV, get on radio, but it's a much quicker path if you're a New York athlete than in any other market.
We've debated it for years and years, but it's just the fact. Derek Jeter, Reds legend Derek Jeter is not Yankee legend Derek Jeter. Plain and simple. He's a legend because he's a Yankee legend.
All right, so what's next for the New York Yankees? It's not like they went out and got a guy they didn't have. They kept the guy they had. What other needs do they have?
Pitching, big time. Carlos Rodon is out there and he's available. They need to go get their hands on Carlos Rodon. They just lost one of their pitchers, Jamison Tyone, who just signed a multi-year deal to the Chicago Cubs. They are bare when it comes to pitching. All they have is Nestor Cortez and Garrett Cole. And everyone in Yankee land, for whatever reason, hates Garrett Cole. They need more pitching.
Who's the next big piece in Major League Baseball to get signed? Like, I know Trey Turner's been signed, Verlander got signed, DeGrom got signed, Bellinger went to the Cubs on a 1-year deal. Aaron Judge is now signed a 9-year deal. Who's the next name we need to keep a lookout for?
Two biggest names right now I got to look out for. Carlos Correa again,
shortstop,
obviously.
Right?
Shortstop. And
who had a bad year in Minnesota.
Not a good year, but he was hurt a lot, too.
Okay.
And then you got Xavier,
Bogaerts.
Xander Bogaerts, not Xavier.
Yeah.
Xander Bogaerts, who is likely going to look at signing either the Dodgers. He could sign with San Diego. He can go back to Boston. His market is as open as it gets. So it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks coming forward. And not to mention, I just mentioned Carlos Rodon. There's not a single left-handed pitcher. There's not a team that doesn't want him.
So, I mean, Rodon, now he was San Francisco, right?
Last year he was.
So how does the signing of Aaron Judge going back to New York affect the decision that he makes as a pitcher?
Probably big time. If they don't go out and get their hands on like a Carlos Correa, this is a team, the San Francisco Giants, that might not be able to compete in the NL West next season because not only are the Padres going to be a powerhouse, the Dodgers are still the Dodgers, and believe it or not, the Arizona Diamondbacks are not a slouch team.
And here come the Rockies.
Nope. Rockies in last place for life, baby.
Yeah, that's Larry Walker got into the Hall of Fame because they're like, he survived Colorado for 10 years. You have to throw the guy a bone. By the way, the Rockies are the first team to invent the use of humidors for baseballs because guys were so ticked off that, boom, the ball flew out of the ballpark, right?
Yeah.
You know,
I thought a humidor was for a cigar. Apparently, they're not for baseball.
You know they have alarms on every humidor because players used to go and try and sabotage them. They used to try to cut the wire in the back.
Really?
They used to beat it with bats, anything to get the humidor not to work.
Nice. All right, listen, if anything else changes baseball-wise, we will bring it to you right here on FS1. Great job all around, guys. And again, if you are just tuning in, you see it at the bottom of the screen. Despite what you thought last night when you went to bed, that San Francisco was in the lead position to sign Aaron Judge. He has made a commitment to the New York Yankees. My gut is that part of the announcement will include a big fat C on his chest as he will become the next captain of the New York Yankees. Back to football. Simple question for you. Are the Cincinnati Bengals the biggest threat to the Kansas City Chiefs going to the Super Bowl? Right after this on FS1.
Guys, there's something on the ship. There's something with us here.
What do we do?
Get to the escape pods. Go now!
Okay, I'm an alien, and I got these claws. I'm climbing the wall now.
If you're making a sci-fi movie, you need to finish the special effects.
Does that look good?
And if you want to save by bundling home and car insurance, you need Geico.
Guys? Uh-oh.
See how much you could save by bundling with Geico.
Is that going to be a problem?
This holiday, shop sparkling gift sets from Pandora Jewelry at a special price.
If you thought one napkin for the Quarter Pounder with cheese was enough, it's not enough.
I believe in miracles. Where you from? You sexy thing, you.
When you get a chip in your windshield, trust Safelight. This couple was headed to the farmer's market. When they got a chip, they drove to Safelight for a same-day repair. And with their insurance, it was no cost to them. That's service the way you need it.
Safe like repair, safe like replace.
Take me up into the stratosphere. Lift off tonight at 761. You see my rocket ship out up in the clouds when the spaceship lit ignite. Hit me from the ground, I'm about to lift.
The first time you connected your website and your store was also the first time you realized
We can do anything.
Cheesecake cookies?
The Chookie.
manage all your sales from one place with a partner that always puts you first. GoDaddy, tools and support for every small business first.
When the details take precedence, the rest falls perfectly into place. We strip away everything but the essential. And what we're left with are thoughtful bedrooms for modern living. Thuma.
This is a Floyd bed frame. Timeless design, enduring materials, simple to assemble, the Floyd bed frame is perfectly designed for how you live today and in the future. See our entire family of furniture at floydhome.com.
And deep breath in.
Did you know that people everywhere are recommending GoodRx?
My doctor told me about GoodRx to help us save money on our meds.
And my daughter told me about it. I take a lot of prescriptions. GoodRx helps me keep up.
My neighbor showed me the app. To help me save on my kids' allergy pills.
Americans everywhere are sharing the savings.
Dropping off a prescription?
Great.
Another good reason to check GoodRx.
It's nitty-gritty time for the Bucks.
These conference games have direct impact on seeding. Who gets the one bye, having to play a wild card game, hosting home field advantage through the playoffs.
This is the game circled on my calendar.
The NFL, Sunday on Fox, home of Super Bowl 57.
Sunday on Fox. We've got a huge doubleheader first. NFC East rivals go head-to-head as Jalen Hurts leads the Eagles, or pardon me, Philadelphia Eagles, against Saquon Barkley and the Giants. And then in America's Game of the Week, Tom Brady and the Bucs take on Christian McCaffrey and the Purdy 49ers. Check local listings for the games in your area, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. And we've got Mark Schlereth and Cody Decker, and we have really interesting news on Twitter right now. John Clown Heyman has just reported that Aaron Judge is staying with New York for 9 years, $360 million, a report that he got from real reporters who reported that a few moments ago, starting with John Morosi and our own Ken Rosenthal.
Dude, it's official now.
Yes, now
you can
it's
stamp
official.
It. We got stamp it, Carton.
Now
it's
it's official. Stamped. Done and done. All right, I asked you a question going into the break. Do the Cincinnati Bengals, on the heels of beating Kansas City last week and in the playoffs and in the regular season, are they the biggest threat to the Kansas City Chiefs' voyage to another Super Bowl?
Yes, absolutely. And one, their quarterback has the biggest balls in football.
Okay.
He's got giant, he is not afraid. And that dude will stand in the face of pressure. He will take hits. I know he looks like Macaulay Culkin, but the dude is a football. He's a football playing Jesse. Now, you look how they've been constructed as a football team. They have really gone through the draft, and they have acquired exceptional, players on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively is what people don't give them great credit for. They went out and got Hendrickson. They went out and got DJ Reader. They went out and got players, free agency-wise. They built their defense through the draft as well, but they've done a really good job of assembling this team. And the thing that the big question was, listen, they can't block anybody. They can't protect their quarterback.
Right.
That's the issue. The first couple of weeks of the season, I think they started with the Steelers. They got 6 sacks.
Yeah, the first 3 weeks, everyone said, wow, the Bengals are done because Joe Burrow's under constant duress.
Right, and now all of a sudden you don't hear that anymore. Even under duress, though, that dude will stand there and take Rydell to the teeth and still deliver a so they are, not only are they really good, but I think this is the thing that blows me away about them. They don't fear the Chiefs.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. The Chiefs go into a lot of stadiums, the game's over when they walk out.
Dude, most of the times the Chiefs come in and it's trickling down your leg a little bit, right? You got a little piss shiver going on. They don't fear the Chiefs. We match up well against the Chiefs. We're not afraid of Patrick Mahomes. We're not afraid of their offense.
Why
do
the Kansas City Chiefs struggle offensively so much against them and really not against anybody else? What do they do?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I don't know that I have the answer to that, other than they feel like sometimes your players, for whatever reason, your players just match up well with their players.
Okay.
Sometimes the skill set that I have matches up well with the skill set that you have. Sometimes the scheme that we play just matches up well, and oftentimes, you look at a guy like Travis Kelce. We've got guys that match up well with him for whatever reason. They're good at covering him, and we can eliminate some of his big plays. So, sometimes it's just that way. When I played in the NFC East back in the day.
Right, for Washington.
Right. We could not beat the Giants. Giants whipped us pretty much every time we played them. We just did not match up with it. The Giants struggled with Philadelphia and that scheme, and they had that number 1 defense. And so the Giants really couldn't beat Philly. And when we played Philly, we always beat Philly. We matched up well scheme. So it was just the scheme versus scheme, player versus player matchup. And then when you feel that, even though Philadelphia is the number 1 defense in football in my day, you're like, no, we're good with them. We can handle that.
So let me ask you this. Other than the Bills, obviously, are the Bengals the only other team that really stands in Kansas City's way of going to a Super Bowl? Because
Yes.
I'm looking at it like
Yes.
the Dolphins aren't going to. The Jets obviously won't. Baltimore, I just think they're a terrible defensive team, especially in the fourth quarter. And Tennessee, they're on top of a bad division. They're not very good.
Tennessee will do what they do. They'll
run the football.
They'll ugly up the game. Right. They'll eliminate possessions. They'll shrink the game so you don't have as many possessions. And you know what Kansas City will say? 3 plays, touchdown. We're all right. We still hang 24 on you or 27 on you. So that's how they do it. It's just, there's one team in my mind that I think the Kansas City Chiefs look at and go, yeah, we don't like playing them. So that's Cincinnati.
It's not even Buffalo.
No, it's not even Buffalo. I think it's Cincinnati.
Got it. All right, listen, let me, you see the standings right there. Listen, the Bills are right now, they're home field advantage. And, that doesn't impact Kansas City as much as it would impact a team like Miami. A southern team out in the sun, having to go to 10-degree weather, blustery winds and snow, where you really can't throw the ball very well. Kansas City would have no problem with that. It's interesting though that for whatever the reason is, the Cincinnati Bengals are their huckleberry. Yeah. 3 consecutive times they have figured out a way how to beat Patty Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Hey, one of the guys I love, I know you do too, is Mike Tomlin, right? Yes. So there's a story in Pittsburgh right now that George Pickens, you guys saw it on Sunday if you watched the game, had this sideline outburst. Show the video real quick, right? Pickens is a young, talented wide receiver.
Really good.
Seems like he's got a pretty good rapport right now with Kenny Pickett, to be fair. And that dude's a gamer. That guy's like, look, I'm open 24/7. Just keep throwing me the ball. And when he doesn't get the ball, like a lot of wide receivers, it's a little bit of a prima donna. I want the ball. I want the ball, right? So he has this sideline outburst. Mike Tomlin was asked about it. Do you think Mike Tomlin supported the young player's outburst or had a problem with it?
I think he's going to support him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mark?
Yeah, I would go. I just know Tomlin well enough to know he's going to support him in a very avuncular, if you will, type of.
That's not a word.
You got to spell that.
I can't spell, but
well, then
avuncular.
You can't use it.
Yeah, I can't. I can use whatever. I can't spell. There's nothing I can spell.
In this room, you can't use words that you can't spell.
It's. I think it starts with A, and then it's and then avuncular. Avuncular.
Country of origin.
Avuncular. Right.
Anyhow, here's Mike Tomlin on his stud wide receiver. Go ahead.
I'd rather say whoa than sycamore. I want a guy that wants to be a significant part of what it is that we do. Now, the appropriate and professional and mature way to express that, we're growing and working on, and we will continue. But that spirit, that competitive spirit, the guy that wants the ball, I want that guy. I would imagine TJ wants to lay the quarterback down more. We got competitors. This is professional football. These guys know that they have to deliver. And so for a guy that wants to do that, I'm not going to make that a negative. No matter how silly I think the commentary is or people talking about him expressing frustrations and stuff and trying to make it a negative storyline. I laugh at that. Again, that's one of the reasons why we're continually progressing, because we're capable of tuning that BS out.
He's just the greatest leader of men you could ever come across. They're 5-7. They've won a couple games in a row now. He knows they're not going to the playoffs or winning a Super Bowl, but that guy gets the best out of his dudes. They are not the most talented team in football, and yet every week they pose a problem for everybody they play.
When you sit in a production meeting with that guy,
he must be awesome.
Dude, he is the best. But I'll tell you the other thing, and this is where he'll have an advantage. Being able to help Pickens understand what everybody on a football field has to do, how we have to work together for you to have the opportunity to get the ball more. So I'm watching them do a drill on Friday, and it's running backs versus safeties and versus linebackers. In one-on-one, you got to cover this guy, and then you got to make a tackle, right? Yep. And so they do this drill, and it's heated, and it's fun, and and all of a sudden he goes, flip it. Now the running backs have to make the tackle and have to, and so the point of that is, it is so important to understand what other people's issues are. Like, you go through life and you're oblivious to what other people are going through.
Right.
Like, you're an idiot for not understanding that and recognize that. He helps them understand. Listen, the guy that you're going, that job is tough, and I want to give you a flavor for how tough that is.
It's like when you said
So
when
we're
you
gonna flip it
switched from
around.
defensive line to
Yes,
offensive line in
absolutely.
college, it made you a better player.
It makes you
overall.
it makes you more aware. It gives you a better global perspective of the game. That's like, hey, throwing out a hitter and saying, hey, I want you to go pitch right now and get embarrassed.
Yeah, but look, in
Because
baseball, they
it's-
say that about
right.
catchers, right?
Yes.
That catcher's the smartest guy in every field because he has a full understanding of what every guy's supposed to be doing, and he's in total control of the game.
Controlling the game,
Right?
controlling the tempo of the game, all of it. Exactly.
You know what
the
I'd
same
like to
thing.
see from Mike Tomlin? Listen, that guy can do whatever he wants when he's done coaching.
Sure.
All right, he could be on TV, could be on radio. I've got the greatest job ever for him. Judge Mike.
Yes.
Could you imagine Judge Mike
my
giving out real life advice to real people?
Right.
That would be the greatest show of all time.
It'd be so no nonsense.
Right?
He'd be just set up there and you go, really? Let me tell you why you're an idiot.
Right.
Right? And he'd just go, bam, right there.
Yeah, because he comes across to me like the really smart older brother who always knows what's right.
Oh, avuncular. He's very avuncular.
Not a word.
Troy, can you remind our guests that if you can't spell it, you can't use it, please?
I spelled
Can't
it.
spell it, you can't
It has an
use
A and a U and a avuncular in
there's
it.
a lot
Gotta
of
be great if it
letters in
didn't start with an A.
Coming up, it's
That probably doesn't.
it's the weekly panic button. What NFL teams are going to push the panic button? And breaking news.
Oh, what?
Aaron Judge has signed a contract. He's staying in New York after this on FS1.
At Honda, we know you have to drive through the mud if you want to reach the rainbow. Brave the desert before you find the oasis. Conquer the mountain to see how far your dreams can take you. The all-new CR-V and CR-V Hybrid, part of the Honda line of rugged vehicles.
From Holiday Hills, Illinois, to Rudolph, Wisconsin. From Santa Claus, Indiana, to Snowflake, Arizona. From Garland, Texas, to North Pole, New York, and everywhere in between. We're holiday ready with fast and reliable delivery, serving every address in America. The United States Postal Service.
If you already know that a blend of tender, marbled Wagyu beef makes the best burger, good for you. Arby's Wagyu Steakhouse Burger is back. You beef genius? Arby's, we have the meat.
When the details take precedence, the rest falls perfectly into place. We strip away everything but the essential. And what we're left with are thoughtful bedrooms for modern living. Thuma.
This is a Floyd bed frame. Timeless design, enduring materials, simple to assemble, the Floyd bed frame is perfectly designed for how you live today and in the future. See our entire family of furniture at floydhome.com.
America's most iconic foods are now shipping nationwide. So if you want the best New York bagel, legendary Texas brisket, Ina Garten's famous chocolate cake, Chicago's iconic deep dish pizza, seafood from Seattle's most famous market, or the viral sensation pie cakin', Gold Belly, shipping the greatest food gifts in the world to your door. Order today and get free shipping anywhere, nationwide.
Saturday, the big-time games are on the new Fox Primetime Hoops. Number 10 Arizona
number 14 Indiana square off in a Pac-12 Big Ten battle. The most exciting voices and the biggest games are on Primetime Hoops, Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
I be like, sheesh, sunset on the beach. Make me wanna pull up on Miami with the heat. I don't know about you, but I know about me. Summertime in Florida, catch me sliding on the key, yeah. I be like, sheesh.
It's not a pizza, it's a melt. And for $6.99, it's just for you.
Ho, ho, ho.
It's Santa. We got a problem.
Hold on.
Ho, ho, ho.
Okay, welcome back. It's the Carton Show. We got the panic button coming up. We got Mark Schlereth and Cody Decker. And, of course, if you are just waking up and tuning in, we appreciate you joining us. There is breaking sports news, and that is that Aaron Judge, despite all the nonsense yesterday about him agreeing to a deal to go to San Francisco and return home, where he's from, where his wife is from, he apparently went to San Diego after going to Tampa to see Tom Brady. That's where the winter meetings are at, out in San Diego. Jeff Passan is now reporting that there was a third team that got involved yesterday. That third team apparently was the San Diego Padres.
Wow.
And the Yankees, when given this late 11th hour reprieve last night, because Aaron did not sign the contract with San Francisco, upped their offer to match the Giants' offer. And this all happened last night. And based on the Yankees willing to match the best offer on the table, Aaron Judge decided that I'm going to stay right where I've been, and I'm going to be a lifelong career Yankee. 9 years, $360 million. It is now the largest free agent signing in Major League Baseball history. If you guys want to put that up real quick, just to see how it compares, $360 for him over 9 years, so that's 40 per. Bryce Harper, $330. Corey Seager a year ago, $3.25, and then on down the list. And the New York Yankees now have the possibility of having the first ever billion-dollar infield.
Yeah.
How much money did you make playing ball?
I think I got a comma in my paycheck for the first time my 6th year, and I was 28 years old.
So now just help us out as we're watching now that he signs the deal, doesn't go to San Diego, doesn't go to San Francisco. What this means as you stack American League teams against National League teams.
I still think National League Baseball is far, far deeper, a lot more better teams, but this is so good for the Yankees because, like I said, the National League is far, far deeper, more better teams. The Yankees last year, I think a lot of Yankee fans look at that season as a failure. They were dominant for most of that season, with the exception of that 1.5 month span where Judge carried them single-handedly.
Yeah.
This is a team that can win a World Series right now. They have the offense to do it. They just need some arms to compete within their own division.
You know, here's the reality. He's never been to a World Series, Aaron Judge.
No, he hasn't.
He had the greatest season any ball player's had maybe of all time. Almost had the Triple Crown last year. And again, they didn't get to the World Series, but he's everything to that franchise. And when you're everything to a New York franchise, the team better pony up, because if you don't, fans start looking for another team to root for.
But here's the question, though. I mean, obviously, it's the New York Yankees, and you're going to be on TV. You're the major market in that sport. So what do they do to get them or get him and get this team to a World Series? What do they have to do?
They need to get some arms. Pitchers need to step up. Garrett Cole needs to be the Garrett Cole they paid him to be, and he's been great, but he hasn't been the guy yet. So a lot of good things need to happen, but quite frankly, talent should win out. This team has him, Stanton, and the names go on. Rizzo. This is a team that can outpower just about anybody.
Could you imagine having an infield and a pitcher on the mound, and when you add up their contracts, you have $1 billion infield?
It's insane.
Like, you don't have billion-dollar football teams. When you put 11 guys on the field, right?
Sure.
You might have, and by the way, the New York Mets might have $1 billion infield.
They might.
Depending on who they sign this offseason.
Think about the pitchers that they just signed. They have both Verlander, and they have their hands on Scherzer. They're paying them this season, just those two pitchers. Both pitchers affect one game a week.
Yeah.
They're paying them $84 million. That is more than the entire Oakland A's, the entire Cleveland Guardians, and the entire Baltimore Orioles combined.
Wow. Yikes. I'm glad I'm not a fan of one of those three teams. I'll tell you that.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
No. So as more baseball stories break today, of course, we'll have it for you right here in FS1, but that is breaking news that came in about 25 minutes ago. Aaron Judge remains a New York Yankee despite yesterday's erroneous report that he had agreed to terms to a deal with San Francisco, which brings us now to everybody's favorite segment, Panic Button time.
We're getting this thing right. Nobody panic.
On that panic button down there.
Like I said, we're not panicking.
Yes.
Nobody's hitting the panic button yet.
Oh.
So I'll just take a deep breath and relax.
Yeah. Some reason Schlereth didn't make the montage.
I know, I did not.
Yeah,
I did not.
Hopefully you'll do a good job today.
Okay.
And we'll put you in the montage for next time. Panic button. The guys have their panic buttons ready to go. All right, team number one. They'll be the sixth team this season to start 3 different guys at quarterback this Sunday, okay? And they are averaging, when they lose, only 14 points per game in their 4 losses this season. They've got the last pick in this past year's draft as their quarterback. Is it time for the San Francisco 49ers to panic? Yes or no? No panic,
way.
Mark Schlereth.
No.
Why?
Because that's not how they're built. They're not built based on their quarterback. They're built based on their football team. And so Brock Purdy is not going to be asked to go out and win games.
He did throw the ball more than 30 times last week.
I understand that. But
against the Dolphins.
Right, but he's not asked, and they hung 33 with their third-string quarterback against the Miami Dolphins. He's not going to be asked to go out and win it. He's going to be asked to manage the game. They're going to make big plays because they've got big-time players. They've got great guys, yak yardage, yards after the catch, and all that kind of stuff. That's how they do it. Run the ball, play stellar defense. Hey, Brock, just don't screw this thing up. Like I'm not panicked at all for San Francisco.
All right, let me go to team number 2 here.
Okay.
The Baltimore Ravens, no Lamar Jackson for at least a week, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. They have the second worst fourth quarter defense in football. When they lose heartbreakers. No Lamar Jackson. Huntley's now the quarterback. Panic or don't panic? Go.
Really? I'm panicked. One, Lamar has not played really well this year. Now you're going to take time off, and he didn't really play well last year. I mean, he played good, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't the MVP he was several years ago. And now you're talking about a defense. This team, for me, does not match up. They don't play complementary football. And this team was always based on, hey, we run the heck out of the ball. Even on 3rd down and 6, we run the ball, we smash mouth, we shorten the game. Our defense is super aggressive. They blitz on 1st down. They put you behind the chains. We limit your possessions. That's not how they're playing football right now. I am panicked for them, not only because the backup quarterback is playing, but the starting quarterback has not played well, and he's hurt now, and he's going to come back.
Do you not like Lamar Jackson, the football player?
No.
Because I know he's a nice kid. Everybody likes the kid.
I love the kid.
But do you not like him as a quarterback? Because it seems like you keep taking shots at him.
I'm not taking shots at him. I'm just giving.
No, I mean, you're being critical. That's your job. I'm just wondering, like, every chance I give you to take a shot at Lamar Jackson, you take the shot at Lamar Jackson, kind of like Pavlov's dogs.
No,
hey, dogs, buzz, buzz.
Right. The truth. If you're telling the truth is not a
I'm not
shot.
saying you're wrong. Right.
Right.
Listen, you're the football guy. I'm just the guy over here who looks good in a blue shirt with no hair.
I actually really like him. I like the kid.
He is a good kid.
He's a great kid.
Yeah.
And he's a great leader. But the bottom line is offensively, now you can sit there and say, well, they haven't given him receivers and they haven't ultimately. Stop.
I gave you a shot to not hit the panic button because I could have sworn, and I got this wrong, that you were going to go, I'm not
okay,
panicked.
so are you no. Are you panicked?
Me?
Are you panicked?
Dude, I don't panic about anything. Life is grand.
Do you
You're damn right I panic.
Yeah,
Hey, we're about to talk about the
good.
Jets in a second. You definitely panicked.
All right.
Listen, Santiago was a substandard Marine. All right. All right. Let me go to team number 3. They're all going to get mad at me for this, but let me give you my answer. Yes, begin panic sequence right now. I wasn't loud enough. Anyway, the New York Jets quarterbacks have a 78.5 passer rating this season combined. That's Flacco, that's Zach, and now that's Mike effing White, 29th in the NFL. And as good as their defense is, and it is great, they've only forced 1 turnover in the last 3 weeks. New York Jets, Bills on Sunday. Panic or don't panic? Oh, okay. Go ahead, stink.
What?
Why aren't you panicking about the Jets? They play the Bills, going to get waxed.
Well, haven't they already beaten the Bills once?
Yeah, that's right. And I said they were going to get blown out in that game, too.
Yes, right. This is not about them winning against the Bills, and they'll probably lose against the Bills, but this is where I feel like they are as a football team. I think defensively, they have been put under way too much stress. Now that this offense is starting to perform, I think you're going to see them get back into their rhythm, get back into playing well, create some turnovers. I think this Jets team is positioned well with Mike White, with their running game, to actually, keep pushing forward and make the playoffs.
They're a good football team. They're not great, but they're a good, competent football team.
Right.
And you saw that.
Do you think they make
Minnesota.
the playoffs? Do you think they make it in the playoffs?
I do.
I do too.
I do. I think they're the 7th seed. I do think they make the playoffs, and they did get some help last week. Right now, they're in that 7th spot. But when you look at, it's really just New England and the Chargers that have the best shot. I think the Raiders make a run and get close. But I do think the Jets get as the 7th.
Here's where Baltimore and the Jets are different for me, okay?
Yeah.
I had great expectations for Baltimore.
Sure.
And I have great expectations for Baltimore. They have not met those. I didn't have great expectations for the Jets. They have gone over my expectations.
Oh, so I agree with you on that.
So I look at the Jets like I think they're going to make the playoffs. I didn't expect that. So I don't have panic about where they are right now.
Yeah, they're a little ahead of schedule.
That's where I am.
Not a lot, but a little bit.
Right, that's where, if that makes sense, that's where I am with the Jets. So I'm not pushing said
Yeah,
panic.
it's kind of hard to say you're panicking about a team that has already exceeded all
your
expectations. I'm with you on that. Which brings me to the next team. I think it's going to be obvious as well because they're in a very similar position that the Jets are in. The New York Giants, they're 1-3-1 in their last 5 games after winning 4 straight prior to that. They've got a dog of a game this weekend against the Philadelphia Eagles. Their schedule's very difficult. They have to beat Washington in 2 weeks and the Colts a few weeks after that to really have a shot. And that only gets them to 9 wins. I think 10 gets you in. 9 may not get you in. But, man, Daboll's done a great job. To me, I'm kind of answering the question for you, but New York Giants, panic, don't panic. That's it.
Wait a second. How do you panic on the Jets? And
because I know what he's doing. He's going to say they're not going to make the playoffs. Therefore, you should panic, even though they've exceeded expectations.
Right, they've exceeded expectations.
Why even have him here? I can just do his job. Right? Oh, I'm Mark Schlereth. I used to play football. Panic, panic, panic. Don't panic. Avuncular, avuncular, avuncular.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think they're a playoff team, and they so far exceeded expectations. They were way out in front. And, now it looks like that schedule, and you mentioned it, the schedule for me with the Giants.
It's tough.
It's brutal. They got the Eagles this weekend. Then they've got to travel to Washington. They just tied with Washington. I just think the Vikings are great.
Look, I'll
they
tell you
finished
this.
with the Eagles.
Well, I know everyone looks at it and goes, oh, you got the Eagles twice in the next 5 weeks. But here's the thing a lot of you simpletons are missing. The Eagles will most likely have home field advantage on the bye wrapped up before that game the last weekend of the season. If that is the case,
True.
you could go, Nick Sirianni could go one of two ways. I'm playing my guys because I don't want to give them 2 weeks off effectively.
Right.
I get the bye week. Or I'm going to make sure I'm the healthiest team going into the playoffs. That could bode well for the Giants. But
Right. And even if they slip up and tie with Minnesota and Minnesota wins out, they still have the tiebreaker on Minnesota because of head-to-head play.
Yeah.
So
we're talking about the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles.
Yeah, I just think, listen, the Giants, the way I view it, they have to beat Washington next week, and then they have to beat the Indianapolis Colts. And then the question is, listen, the Vikings are a really good team. They're beatable. The Eagles, I don't think the Giants are in the same class as them. I could see them fighting and competing. I don't think they can beat Philadelphia right now. So I think the Giants have to steal a win against the Vikings, but they got to win in Washington, or I do not think they make the playoffs. I think we're in lockstep on that, yeah?
Yeah, so you're panicking. So you agree with me.
But it's weird, like, I'm not,
so, you essentially you said, hey, Stink, you don't know what you're talking about, but then you actually agree with me kind of in that whole thing. So
yes. Throw the whole thing away.
I don't know if you're getting in the montage,
I give up
Mark.
on the whole segment. None of it makes sense anymore to me. None of it makes sense. By the way, Aaron Judge has signed a contract, and he's staying with the New York Yankees. So panic on that, Giants fans. We'll get into it right after this on FS1. Woo!
You can't throw the pen.
These little cups would make great stocking stuffers. But how about right now in your mouth stuffers? Happy holidays to your mouth. Not sorry. Reese's.
But all you got was ham? Mm-hmm. And all you got was turkey?
With gravy.
That's an all-you-can-eat holiday buffet. A smorgasbord of all you want, all you need. Did I sit at the wrong table?
This holiday, shop sparkling gift sets from Pandora Jewelry at a special price.
An experienced QPC eater knows you should never let the ketchup that falls from the hot and juicy burger go to waste.
Hi, I'm Wolfgang Buck. When I started my online store, Wolfgang Buck Home, I knew there would be a lot of orders to fill, and I wanted them to ship out fast. That's why I chose ShipStation. ShipStation helps manage orders, reduce shipping costs, and print out shipping labels. It's my secret ingredient.
ShipStation, the #1 choice of online sellers.
And Wolfgang Buck.
Go to shipstation.com/TV and get 2 months free.
First, there's an idea, and you do something about it for the first time. Then, before you know it, you make your first sale. Small business first never stop coming. And you have a partner that always puts you first.
No way.
GoDaddy, tools and support for every small business first.
For the visionaries. For the trailblazers. For the last to leave. And the first to think ahead. There's Grainger. Supplies and solutions for every industry. With access to trained experts and 24/7 support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now up to the top rope. Gonna fly. Oh! Leg drop from the top for the win. He's gonna bend the knee. play action. Smith looking. Back of the end zone. DK Metcalf. Touchdown, Seattle.
It's not the size of the wreck that matters. It's the size of the check.
In a wreck and need a check? We'll learn and row.
Call 222-2222.
Now handling Zentek cases.
Power tools make great Christmas gifts, and Menards carries the best selection. Speed up your cleanups with a Dremel Versa cordless power cleaner. It scrubs away tough dirt and grime, indoors or out. Right now, buy the Dremel Versa power cleaner and receive a free 16-piece cleaner set. Tackle tough projects with Bosch cordless power tools. Buy any one of these Bosch power tools and receive a free Core 18-volt battery and charger starter kit instantly.
Save big money at Menards.
It was literally the one phone call, and they called me, they followed up. It was great. I mean, they really make you feel like you're part of a family, which was phenomenal.
Lerner and Rowe are the lawyers for you. Call 222-2222.
Friday on Fox. The World Cup reaches the quarterfinals. First, Neymar leads Brazil against Croatia. And then Messi and Argentina take on the Netherlands. Coverage begins Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, live on Fox and the Fox Sports app. And catch up on any match for free on Tubi.
Hey, if you just tuned in, it's the Carton Show. Mark Schlereth, Cody Decker, and Aaron Judge. More on Aaron Judge signing with the New York Yankees in just a few seconds here. 9 years, $360 million. Wow. Biggest free agent signing in baseball history, and every Yankee fan is doing what you just did. Woo! Right? Plus, I can guarantee you 9 months from now, there's going to be a lot of Yankee babies born, which is another story. Honey, let's celebrate. Aaron Judge is here. Oops, I'm done. Okay, great. Wow. I was excited.
Yeah,
they got Aaron Judge. I'm out of breath about it. Real quick, there's big NFL news as well. I don't know. I'm not even a real Yankee fan. I just pretend to be one on the radio. Well, I grew up a diehard Met fan, you know, and I was like, there's enough Met fans on my radio station. I'll be a Yankee fan.
Yeah, all you Mets and Jets go together, right?
Yes. Yankees and Giants because they're old school.
Okay.
Mets and Jets are different
because they don't win things.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah. Right.
Yes,
Okay.
there is
Great.
that aspect. Yeah, there's that aspect. But because the Yankees and the Giants franchises are so much older,
right?
There's almost like a notion amongst Giants fans and Yankee fans that they're better than Mets fans and Jets fans.
Right.
And they're right.
And aren't they?
They're right. Are correct.
I mean, I can't argue with the truth, right? More of that coming up in 1 second. Real quick, a couple quarterback guys that we should talk about real quick. I'm going to start with Baker Mayfield, actually, because Baker Mayfield was put on waivers by Carolina, of course. And it caught me by surprise, but I think it's a genius move that the Rams picked him up.
I do, too. I'm 100% with you on that. I think the biggest issue is they've given away all their draft picks. They don't care about draft capital. Right. They're just like, hey, draft, we don't care.
They kept kicking the can down the street, and it caught up with them.
Right, but now you've got a guy that was a former number 1 overall pick that you look at and go, is he salvageable? Maybe, maybe not. But it's $1 million. That's in the couch cushions. We'll do it, and we'll see if he's salvageable.
Yeah, because you have to play out pros and cons. Our worst-case scenario, they can't coach him. He's not good anymore. He's a head case.
Right.
Guess what? He's gone. Cost you nothing. Best-case scenario, though, is that McVay figures out what's wrong, fixes it, and now all of a sudden you've got an heir apparent to Matthew Stafford, who is not long for the NFL, just based on age, the money he's made, and now the nagging injuries, significant injuries to his neck, his back, concussions, etc.
You had mentioned Nick Foles before.
Yeah.
Remember, Nick Foles was going to retire, and he was going to retire, and he was going to go into like he was going to become clergy, like he was going to go into preaching, like that. That's what was his calling.
He's a very religious guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was going to do that, and then Kansas City called and said, "Hey, man, all you need is some football rehab. Come to Kansas City and be part of this organization."
Right.
He goes there. He's a backup. He gets that football rehab. He goes back to Philadelphia. Carson Wentz gets hurt, and he's a Super Bowl champion. And they put a statue of him outside of the vet, right?
Which is crazy. That statue, the Philly
Lincoln.
special, is outside the link.
Right.
You're absolutely right about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
so maybe
sometimes
that's
you
like,
just need football. Sometimes you need an organization that believes in you and a little football rehab.
And let's be fair to Baker Mayfield. You know, and I'm his biggest fan. He's been a huge disappointment since that 1 year in Cleveland when they went to the playoffs. But he's also played for some really bad franchises and has not played for, you know, brainiacs when it comes to coaches either. Now he's in a situation where there's no pressure. They're not a playoff team. They're not trying to make the playoffs. And you've got a coach who knows what he's doing and an offensive coordinator who spoke about why they went after Baker Mayfield.
You know, it's just kind of acquiring talent, to be honest. I mean, acquiring somebody to come in and evaluate him, but also our offense, you know, continuing to evaluate the offense, the other players. It's more so about acquiring talent and just getting somebody in here, you know, that we can continue to, you know, develop some competitive nature within the room. And those guys are all great about it.
Yep, so it's just about acquiring talent. He's right. And there's no downside to it. There's no risk. It's not a big financial hit. It's $1.4 million.
By the way,
and Stafford's almost out, too.
By the way, who knew, like seriously, who knew?
I'm worried now.
No,
I'm worried.
Who knew Fox executive Witt was actually also the offensive coordinator for the Rams?
That's a little inside baseball.
Yeah, it is. Who knew Witt was also OC? I did not know that.
Well, I guess they're out to. I'm going to stop myself.
All right, don't get fired on my account, all right?
I'm trying to get along with people. That's all I'm trying to do. But the fact that I know two adults that weigh less than 100 pounds is amazing to me. So that's the deal right there. Maybe tomorrow we'll show a picture, okay? We'll do a little separated at birth, or we just want to keep our jobs. All right, so that's the deal on Baker Mayfield. There's the thought among some people that he might actually play tomorrow night. I'd be shocked by that.
I could not imagine.
That's what's out there, that they may just throw him out to the Wolves tomorrow. Why not?
It would make me want to watch Thursday Night Football really badly.
Who do the Rams play Thursday night, Troy?
The Raiders.
Oh, yes.
Isn't that your Raiders? No,
it's our Raiders.
By the way, as a Raider fan, I wonder, would you rather Baker Mayfield play or not play?
It makes no difference to me. The Rams are a disaster regardless.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And the Raiders now have a chance to at least creep back into the conversation.
Yeah, the Raiders are like sheep underpants.
By the way,
just keep creeping up on you.
I think for me, Mark.
Yeah.
I think since you're here again tomorrow, right?
Yes, I am.
We're just going to keep on paying him, huh?
I actually came out for free just to hang out with you.
I appreciate that. By the way, I'm still looking for those shoes you promised me.
I'm still waiting for your address. Did you send it to me?
You're funny, and I didn't. I can't let you know where I live. No, it's interesting, though, that...
why did I get hit?
That's it. It's over. That's it. Give me the ball back. Thank you. I'll do it again. All right. From Baker Mayfield to Jimmy G. It's kind of a non-story to me the more we talk about it, but Jimmy G got good news in that it's not Liz Banks' injury.
Liz Frank.
Or her stepsister, Liz Frank, or anybody named Elizabeth for that matter, but he's out still. 7-8 weeks, meaning, Jimmy, just get this through your heads if you're out in San Francisco. By the way, I'm talking to myself here. San Francisco's had a bad 24 hours.
Yes.
Like, you thought you got good news that Jimmy Garoppolo was going to be back in 7 to 8 weeks, but then when you actually go to a calendar, you realize he's done for the year still.
Right, yeah.
Then you thought last night, hey, it's okay. We got Aaron Judge.
Yeah, right.
And you didn't do that either. What a bad spot to be right now, San Francisco.
Yeah, it is. And you're 100% right about Jimmy G. Like, I saw the news. 7 to 8 weeks.
He's not playing again.
That doesn't matter. If you get 7 to 8 weeks deep, that means you're the NFC Championship. You're not going back to Jimmy Garoppolo.
Right. The only way Garoppolo plays again this year.
Garoppolo.
That's our thing. I don't like to talk out of school about my relationships, but it's our thing. The only way Garoppolo plays is if somehow Purdy gets him to an NFC Championship game and then gets hurt in that game.
Correct.
Outside of that, Jimmy ain't playing again this year, and he may have played his last game for San Francisco. He is an unrestricted free agent after this year.
Yeah, I agree with all those points. I will say this: the guys love him. I'm surprised that he's still with San Francisco.
As am I, actually.
Like he's a guy that's not on anybody's top of their list. But he's a dude that can come in anywhere and play right away and play pretty well.
Yeah, so, listen, he'll be a starting quarterback in the league next year, maybe even here in New York for the Jets and the Giants. All right, listen, the big story of the day, of course, is not even football, and that's very rare here on FS1. It is baseball. It is Aaron Judge, who last night when you went to bed appeared to be headed towards a homecoming to where he and his wife are both from San Francisco. There was an article that came out yesterday that also told the story that 10 years ago, when he was dating his now wife, who's also from San Francisco, he wrote a note to her, like a little love note, which we all see right before we got married, and said, why am I writing a note? I got a ring on her finger. And it was, 10 years from now, we're going to return to San Francisco, and I'll be a Giant. And everyone's like, wow, that's like an after-school special, and he's gonna live out his childhood dreams. And then someone said, it's the Yankees. Whatever they offer you, we're going to offer you. And now as we're learning more about the story from legitimate baseball insiders, the San Diego Padres got involved late last night when the Giant deal didn't happen. But long story short is this. The New York Yankees were not going to lose Aaron Judge over a couple $1 million. And apparently their offer was, depending on who you want to listen to, at most $20 million less over 9 years than the Giants offered. So you're talking a couple $1 million a year for a guy that's already making $36, $37, $38 million a year. The Yankees said, we're not going to lose him over that. They matched the Giants' offer, and now Aaron Judge will be a Yankee for life.
And not only that, he's going to break a lot of Yankee records throughout this time.
He should become their all-time home run leader, right?
He will be, and that's just one of the things I think he's going to break. He's going to have a statue out there in Monuments Park. He's going to be a Yankee legend upon Yankee legends.
You hear about guys like Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and for all of us, they're guys you read about. They're books, right? And this guy is going to be named among them. Yes. And I think for guys like you and like your son who want to be baseball players, to think that your name is going to be right alongside the legends of the sport has got to be mind-blowing.
Now you just scribble out that note you wrote to your wife and say, we're going to visit the Giants 10 years from now.
Exactly.
Right? That's what you do.
Exactly right. Well, listen, as things change, of course, in sports, we always have it for you here on FS1. Congrats to all you Yankee fans out there. Tomorrow, a huge football Thursday as Week 14 begins. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the...
No mercy, no mercy, no mercy. Let's go face to face. I embrace debate. I don't make mistakes. I just make my case. Drops mic when I'm done. What more can I say?